cool. I'm streaming, by the way. We'll see if this works. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm trying to a higher recording rate. See if I drop frames or if I go into robot mode. Prime, you'll have to let me know. Okay. This. One second. Sorry. Let me just do this. All right. Boom. Hey, Sheepadoodle, what's up, dude? Here we go, and then you guys. Yeah, word. Perfect. Okay, sweet.
There's a little bit of, maybe it's just me, but I hear a little bit of static in your audio.
Shoot. Okay. Thank you for the feedback.
Unless it is just, it might just me.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
No, it's there. Thank you for the feedback. Okay, that should be better. There's like this AI assisted Elgato like thing. I don't know why, but it can't work with on the Chrome when it comes from StreamYard, and I'm like processing that window or something. It doesn't work. I don't know.
Seems good now.
Okay, yeah.
You know, some people have. I don't know how feasible this is for you.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have dual PC streaming setups,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where one PC just handles the streaming, and then the other handles whatever else they're doing. Usually, it's gaming, right? So, like, especially because like you have like intensive games, that might interfere with your setup, with your output, right?
Yeah, that's a good
You'll
point.
have one dedicated to other. Again, it's a whole thing, and I'm not sure how feasible that is for you, but something to consider if you want to
Yeah.
upgrade yourself like that.
Yeah, I should think about that, because like yeah, I agree. It's a good idea. All right, guys. Well, it was a week that honestly I feel like that we kind of knew this was happening. The Fauci was finally the panel, the Senate panel did vote to hold Fauci in contempt, and then yeah, and then and then Rand Paul put delivered the note, so they got what they wanted from him. This whole nonsense, I feel like.
But is it, so I don't know exactly how it works, or like it seems, again, based off of just like what I read and my limited understanding of like, this is potential like, uh, uh can lead to like some sort of constitutional, or like this has never like been tested type of thing. Since he was pardoned, it's like, it seems to create some sort of like very weird situation. Uh, but maybe I'm mistaken about that.
Yeah, it's like whether or not you can be held liable for what you're doing. Um, like pardon admits the guilt, and then but that's the idea, is like, how could you should be able to, you did take in the guilt in order to be pardoned, so therefore you shouldn't be able to plead the fifth about something that,
Right, for like self-incrimination.
yeah,
Type of
yeah,
stuff.
I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know exactly what it is, but I thought that was like the gist of it.
Yeah, but like I feel like what I mean, again, I'm no lawyer, but like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think even then, based off what I read, like it still has to whatever eventually reach like the DOJ, and I think a decision has to be made of like, well, do you actually pursue anything, or like it seems like based on what I read, the impression I got was like the chance of this actually leading to something, or like Fauci behind bars or anything, or being prosecuted seems to be low.
Very, yeah, there's no way. Yeah, this is all for, this is all, basically, it just shows that this was all for, they were going to do this anyway, kind of thing. And it was all
Mhm.
for the nonsense that he was talking about for, um, the show trial, man. It was just a fake like thing that they wanted to do. Thousands of things that they could have investigated instead of that. And, it's just a shame that, um, I don't know, the idea of, after every pandemic, if you just go down the line and blame and charge every single person that's not the president of the United States during that, it just kind of hurts people, real people from like stepping forward that are serious. It's just, I think that's the hurt at the end of the day.
Yeah, and also from what I understand, this uh, going after Fauci seems to be largely spearheaded, although not only, but largely spearheaded by Rand Paul. As in, I think
Hmm.
he explicitly said multiple times, so like he wants Fauci behind bars.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, are you really acting as like a overall objective actor, or somewhat unbiased actor, or is it, I think he almost makes it explicitly clear that he has an agenda, as in
Yeah.
like it's a foregone conclusion in his mind. So it's like, I don't know how that can hold up, or how that plays optically for other people, but that seems very
Yeah.
strange.
I don't know why, but it is been Rand Paul's just mission to go after Fauci. He just absolutely despises him.
I think it
Um,
was largely due to that one of the first Senate hearings that they had, because I was pretty content. I remember watching that, or at least seeing a number of clips of that, and I'm biased, but
yeah,
I would say Fauci made Rand Paul look pretty awful. And if anything, if you actually, I don't want to get into the weeds, but if you actually dissect what Rand Paul was doing, he was being deceitful. Um, and I don't think Rand Paul appreciated Fauci pushing back and actually standing up for himself.
yeah, and I
That's the
think,
impression I get.
yeah, I think that you're exactly right, and he's has this streak of like, I mean, that this libertarianism. His father was kind of like the same way. Where it's just like, you don't have to tell me what to do. It's his 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 father was nicknamed Doctor No because he just famously just voted no as a default on every single piece of legislation. He just never was a yes vote unless it was egregiously, you know made for him, basically. And yeah, I think that he styles himself in that way. That's his archetype in his brain, that he's like this fearless libertarian kind of standing up to these bullies, and Fauci is trying to tell people what to do. And that yeah, I think it's just, honestly, it feels like Rand Paul is just kind of going through the motions because he knows that, supporting Donald Trump is just completely anathema to what he stands for. And so now he's taking it out on Fauci.
Yeah, because like from uh, from the clips that I saw and from what I've read, and well, Rand Paul also makes it clear in his own words of like he seems to hold Fauci responsible for many things, including the lockdowns. But like
Exactly.
from what I understand, he had no actual power to implement lockdowns. He may have made a recommendation or gave his opinion, but at the end of the day, like this is all those are all political decisions.
Exactly.
Like
It's what any CDC person would have done in the exact same scenario. It's so.
and obviously Fauci should not have done this, but like the implication, because this was during the first lockdowns, that was during the Trump administration, right?
Mhm.
When Trump was
Yeah.
president. So like arguably, if Rand Paul is holding Fauci responsible for the lockdowns, like he's almost making the case that he was more powerful than Trump or the governors. And
Yeah.
would he bite that bullet? Like
Exactly.
if Fauci asked him, like, "Oh, so you're saying that I can override the president? Is decision?"
Fauci famously ran the entire country, and
Yeah,
Trump famously is a person that stands back and doesn't try to get in front of, or in the middle of every single issue that he's ever in. It's like,
and again, Fauci played it smart in not saying anything, but like, there's a part of me that wishes like if he that I think if he pressed it appropriately, because Trump, in his own words, he has the biggest brain. So even if Fauci made the recommendation, shouldn't Trump be able to, come up with the wisest decision or whatnot?
I I was hoping that that Fauci would do the same thing and kind of push him a little bit, but I can, dude, I can see him just wanting to be over it. I mean, dude, give it
Yeah,
up to,
I think he wants to move on. Understand,
yeah. I mean,
he's probably in the twilight of his life.
what
So
it completely exonerates is Biden like pardoning him. This is exactly why like that this happened. Like I am so happy that he did get a pardon. That so because this is exactly this is exactly what he thought was going to happen, and they kind of just got baited into it, and it's just I don't know. In any other time, it'd be embarrassing for the Republicans, but they don't care. They don't care about any of that stuff. They don't, it's just is what it is.
do you think it's possible, not that I'm necessarily looking to give the most charitable interpretation, but do you think it's possible that, like, since they know that he was pardoned and that, like, the likelihood of something coming for this is, like, low, that that maybe incentivizes them to put on the show? As in, well, we know that nothing can really come for this, so why not just make a show of it, type of thing? As in, like, if he wasn't pardoned and there's actually a higher likelihood of consequences, maybe that would disincentivize them of like, well, actually, we don't want to lock up Fauci since I would hope there'd be backlash for that, but that's not necessarily a foregone conclusion.
What do you think, Prime? I don't know.
What backlash?
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
I,
I would hope there would be at least some sort of like there should still hopefully be people that support Fauci, either in the general public or in the political realm. But I
Hmm.
understand if you know I guess people don't want to stand up for that. But I hope that they would.
I don't know what backlash would happen. I mean, I don't know. Liberals being outraged that Fauci's getting beat up on. Mission accomplished. That's what's happening right now, right? Um, I don't. I don't know what negative consequences could have. I mean, if they did nail Fauci for whatever reason, their stars would only rise within the conservative,
It's true.
yeah,
For sure,
in
for some of
conservative
them, yes.
circles. Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, for all of them, I like for Republicans, I don't see. Yeah, I'm trying to understand what would be the downside for them to do this. Even if they, whatever they got him on was, spurious or whatever, right? Like whatever, they're not actually like all they would be doing is setting him up so that someone else can do the prosecuting because they're not prosecutors, right? And
mhm.
so if those charges fall through, or they're found to be, how like evidence is made up. I mean, like, to be the prosecutor's problem, not their problem. As long as they didn't make up the evidence, right? Like, um, so yeah, I just don't see any any downside for the senators, like at
Yeah.
all. Actually,
Okay, that's fair.
I think that this
yeah.
is definitely them. They're also kind of able to like Massey and those type of people could argue that these are uh, investigations to help mitigate like backlash to the Epstein files or something like that. I think like wasting time, wasting government money, uh, but I don't think that even the Massey like Epstein files, the focused Republicans would defend Fauci in this scenario. They all love to lambast him and go after him, you know. So
Yeah, no. I was like, trying to be optimistic that there would be at least some support for Fauci that would be
yeah,
vocal. Not that I would that they would storm the Capitol to release Fauci, but
there's more liberals that are proud and happy with Trump on Operation Warp Speed than there are Republicans that want to defend a 50-year public servant. You know, like
that's
we're
true.
so
Almost certainly.
that is the way of the land, it seems. But um, anything you wanted to say, Prime, on this one?
I don't know, not really. Like it seems more or less our same discussion as like last week. Republicans being dishonest and going after this guy. Yeah, I hope they fail. Um,
Yeah, agreed, man. All right. Well, next up, FDA approves Moderna's mRNA flu vaccine, guys. The agency had initially refused to even review the application, but reversed course after public outcry. The FDA on Wednesday approved the.
See, so as in, I would hope there would be that public outcry for
I
Fauci
yeah,
if he
exactly.
asked
I'm
for the
like,
flu
wait,
vaccine.
what? I'm shocked, honestly. enabling use of a technology that will make it easier to rapidly target a wildly prevalent or particularly virulent strain of the virus. The approval of the vaccine called M. fluciva, which is
Terrible
manufactured by
name, if you ask me.
yeah, exactly, which is manufactured by Moderna, follows a series of blows to mRNA research directed by RFK Jr., including the cancellation of 22 projects meant to develop vaccines with mRNA technology through the government's Biomedical Advanced Research and Development Authority. Initially, the FDA had refused to even review Moderna's application for approval earlier this year, but quickly reversed course after public outcry. The flu kills more than 300,000 people worldwide each year and was particularly harsh in 2024 to 2025 season, with an estimated 45,000 deaths in the United States, including at least about 300 people reported cases being children, according to the CDC. So I'm honestly shocked that yeah the public outcry is the thing that they are talking about. But I mean, good for people, man. I mean, this is they I'm the data is so overwhelming. That is also the problem here. I feel like there is really good data to support these vaccines, and it's here ongoing here into the article. In the case of the flu, scientists believe that the mRNA technology offers an advance from traditional vaccine options that take several months to prepare using decades old technology, some
Mm.
requiring the virus to develop in fertilized eggs. Moderna has said that the faster new approach will enable a shift away from the current process of focusing on one flu strain for an entire hemisphere each season and allow each nation to pick its best option. That's incredible. That is really cool.
Yeah, huge advantage of the platform, because sometimes, from what I understand, in terms of seasonal flu vaccine development, it's like they have to sort of like make a prediction, months in advance
Hmm.
of like, okay, what strains do we think are going to be circulating, come whatever fall, winter.
Exactly.
Sometimes those predictions are not like the best, or they're not like quite spot on. But then it's like once they made a decision and they started manufacturing and developing, it's like they're set down a path. As opposed to with this platform, it should introduce or have the ability to be more flexible, or at least delay the decision, and scale up quicker. And so that seems like a huge advantage of this platform. And yeah, I agree with you. The data appear to be pretty robust, and promising, and like, yeah, I'm curious how much longer, let's say, MAGA Republicans will ignore this technology, because technology just presses forward.
I know,
And
right?
like
It's so
when
true.
that mRNA cancer vaccine is there, okay, like are they going to continue being vaccine skeptics or anti-vax? I imagine not.
Yeah, exactly. I I'd hope, man. The problem is they don't even understand what it is. That's the problem. The other thing that frustrates me so much. It's like they really don't have no idea what it is to begin with, right? And then it's like they're just being
I agree.
obstinate just to be that way. And there's hey, what's up, the anti-fascist frogs in chat? What's up, man? Um, so it is, and it is such a breakthrough. It genuinely is. I mean, basically, the strain is a live attenuated virus. So what that means is that it's been evolved to not kill the host, but it's used in it's through evolution. Basically, the virus stays similar enough that it gives you a vaccine to the one that's circulating, but that's evolved to the way that it doesn't like harm the host. So it gives you the immune response. Your body sees that pieces of the antigen and then creates the antibodies, to match. But the it just takes a long time, guys. You gotta grow these things. You gotta culture them. You gotta isolate them. You gotta grow them. You gotta culture them. You gotta isolate them. So just being able to say, okay, we actually just want this bit of the genome, and then we want to mass produce it inside your body. I mean, that could take. I mean, how long does sequencing take? 2 days, and then you put that sequence in the vector. And Moderna was talking about how they could change the sequence of the SARS-CoV-2 vaccines in 11 days. So we're
Yeah, I imagine
talking,
the turnaround times is going to get better and
yeah,
better.
as opposed to months, about absolute months. So, does the mRNA vaccine differentiate between the A and B influenza? That's a really good question, Magnolia Chan. I think they would have to. I mean, they did famously. So we actually during COVID, we did do social distancing enough that we don't actually have one of the strains of influenza actually went extinct, so it's no longer there, so it's been eradicated, and they did remove it from the vaccine. So 3 out of the 4 uh, before COVID are actually in the vaccines now. So I would think that they would do all of them. um,
Yeah, I would imagine they should be able to get coverage for multiple strains
mhm.
in a single, but I don't know for sure. But that seems like it should be feasible in my mind, given the platform.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, again, how how much longer can they deny this technology or other technologies? As in, like one of their one of their talking points or conspiracy theories is like the mRNA vaccine is gene therapy technology. But then, as we've been talking about here, for some weeks,
Mhm.
is like gene therapy is in the pipeline,
Yeah.
and it's like it's just getting more and more promising. You know, like are they going to deny that when it's there,
Yeah.
readily available to cure your congenital disease? They're gonna be like, no gene therapy for me. During COVID, I learned gene therapy bad.
Yeah, and even the last flu vaccine, the problem was that we had a mismatch, not like a mismatch, but like a poorly timed vaccine pull. Basically, the vaccine didn't line up with the circulating flu that was going around and harming so many kids. So that was kind of like the problem. It decreased the efficacy, right? The amount of viral load that your vaccine is going to protect you against, and already influenza, flu, um, the problem basically is that the incubation period is not a long time. So SARS-CoV-2, influenza, it only needs like 1 or 2 days in your system to go exponentially growth, and your viral load increases in that way, and that's why you get the immune response, right? Something like measles, for example, is going to take, I think it's like 10 to 12 days or something, the incubation period. So
Yeah, I believe
basically,
it's
it
a month.
ramps up your body's innate immune system, gets a chance to fight off the infection when the viral load's still really low. So that's the kind of that is the really important part about SARS-CoV-2 and influenza is like you have to get that sequence as good as possible, right? As good as we can. And we saw that in the Moderna original ones, 94.1% efficacy in the original SARS-CoV-2 vaccines, like one of the best vaccines that we've ever produced. So it is pretty remarkable.
Yeah, uh, I I'm very curious to see how the technology further evolves,
Hmm.
where it's probably gonna get to the point like, yeah, like you said, uh, the turnaround time being like a week and a half. I can imagine, like, let's say it happens that, oh, they happen to have chosen wrong or they didn't quite get the right strain circulating. But then I can imagine that even in the middle of the flu season, they can make the adjustment that, like, even during the middle of the flu season,
Dude,
they can
that's what I
actually
can't.
further optimize.
Every month, update it every month. Just have it constantly going. Like I that's what I don't get. Right? Have it constantly being updated over time, so people that are getting it, you're not getting a 10-month-old or an 11-month-old vaccine if you happen to
Well, I don't
get like,
disagree, but
you
I
know?
can imagine as a company they're doing some sort of cost benefit analysis of like, yeah, we could, but like if someone got a flu shot in October, but then like this is the better one in November, what's likely that they're going to take it, even if like we can show that it's better. Like some people are just like, I'm sure there's a percentage of the population that just don't want to get another one for a variety of reasons.
From
But
chat,
I could be wrong.
these vaccines go from FDA to production very fast, correct? Yeah, Magnolia. Yeah, they they go. Yeah, they are very fast. Just in general. I mean, they're very efficacious. They don't have any like, they're pretty easy. So yeah.
The only, let's say, slight drawback, although even then, so based off of the article, uh, they mentioned that the side effect profile of the Moderna seems to be, maybe slightly worse than your conventional flu vaccine.
Hmm.
But even then, I think it's just a increase in comparison, like higher rates of, let's say, headache, and like injection site pain, all that stuff. It doesn't seem like anything major, just
Yeah.
basically a slight uptick in minor side effects.
Did that gene editing tragedy in China set the field back? That's a good question, Nico. I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago, but I think eh, you know, that I don't think so. I think that if it was in the U.S., it would probably be a little bit bigger. To be blunt, but
Let's just say I don't think it set China back. I don't think it
yeah,
deterred from pushing
yeah.
it further.
China's like, we're good, we're fine,
Not that
we're
that's my
good.
endorsement. I'm just attempting to describe reality. As
Yeah,
in, I think China's going to press forward, like almost no matter what.
for sure.
Even if it were, even more tragic, of like 2 deaths or three, I still
Yeah,
predict them to just press forward.
exactly. Um, let's see.
Um,
Go Prime, go.
so I don't have anything to say on like the efficacy of this. That's beyond me. Hopefully it's good. I want more good things. I want better, pharmaceutical products. And I want lives to be saved. So, hopefully it's everything you guys say it is. Um, I agree with Corey on one thing in terms of like, like creating multiple vaccines. Like, I, I mean, it seems like you'd have to train the public to understand that, like, oh, you're gonna get a shot, but then it may not be the you still may not like the idea people have in their heads is that like I get the shot and then I'm good, right?
Yeah,
Then
and
you don't
like
want to
for
train the
life.
public. Yeah, well, not for like yeah, but for when we talk about the flu vaccine, right? Like we're like even if it's seasonal, like oh, I'm good for the season. We train them to think that like oh, you have to get multiple to actually be safe, then that kind of undermines like vaccines in general, like the idea of them in general. And that I'm not sure we want to go down that route. Now it could be good for immunocompromised people who like really need extra protection, but like getting people to like cycle through to get a new shot, one every few months, it's just a logistical a nightmare. And like I don't know, it feels like it could have blowback effects that
Yeah,
we
that is
don't fully
my
understand.
concern.
You wouldn't have to
But
like get him updated every few months. It would more be um like the update cycle would just be like more rapidly that the it would be like a software development thing where you are uploading and running the beta on your computer as opposed to the stable build. Like the stable build comes every 2 years, but you're missing out on some of the features of the new beta build. Are there going to be some bugs in the beta build? Like for sure, like that aren't in the stable one. But you have a lot of benefits too. So it that yeah, you'd still be on the one year vaccine schedule.
well, I mean, yeah, let's say for let's say fundamental coverage, um, but that's where it's like uh, my concern is based off of the experience with COVID. If I remember correctly, like we already had issues with like um, booster coverage. We're getting people to take boosters
Hmm.
as we recognize, like, oh, given the evolution of the virus and all that stuff, it's like maybe boosters every 6 months to a year would be recommended depending on the population. And even then, like some people, I think I remember almost explicitly, some people are like, I just got my initial 2 doses and that's it. I'm done. I'm not taking any more, like on principle. Um, and so I can only imagine, like, yeah, if there was any sort of
Mm.
like marketing or messaging, like, oh, yes, you got your flu vaccine in October, but there's a better one now, November, December. You should get that. I think some people are just gonna dig in their heels. I don't know. I hope to be wrong, but I'm just going by my experience of COVID from what I remember. But like some people just seem to have this principle of like a vaccine should be this, and like if I have to get any more shots, it's just like not going to happen. It seems like for some people, it's just like their tolerance level seems to be quite low
But
for
Yeah.
a number of reasons.
you could also argue that they didn't want to get it because it was not good, 6 months into the pandemic or something. And if we gave something that we argued that, hey, this is the best possible thing every single time you walk into that door, we're giving you the best technology, the best vaccine that we possibly have.
I think you do. I mean, I think you have to make that case. I'm not sure just with that messaging alone that would convince people. I would hope it would
Hmm.
because I'd agree with you that like I'm on the side of like the technology will get better. And like if there's an update, like I get my code boosters to this day, like every 6 months. I'm up to like booster number like whatever 12 or something, some
Yeah.
ridiculous number. Um, but uh, yeah, I think just the the multiple doses in of itself seems to undermine the concept for some people of like how can this be great if I'm getting injected multiple times
Yeah.
type of
And
thing.
this just actually, I'm just getting it in. We're actually putting the new. We're okay. We are. Wow. Okay. This is breaking, guys. We're actually putting in flu vaccines in with TRT now, and RFK's pro vaccine. Wow. Look at that. Every day you're gonna get
Well,
vaccinated
then that
every
will
single
definitely
day.
convince the men to
That's
get their monthly dosage for
that's just,
sure. Then
that's
I'm
just
on board.
there you go. Amazing. I love that. Thank you, RFK. Thank you for helping us out, keeping America vaccinated.
So I agreed with Corey on that, right? On the, like, the problem with like having multiple flu vaccines, and you brought up good points about like how people reacted to COVID. Um, and like I don't know, like there's also just a bit of a hassle, that is involved with like going to either some sort of doctor's office or even just like going to like a CVS and then like getting jabbed, right? Like, yes, like people are trained to take pills on a regular basis, but like this
Hmm.
is different. This is more invasive and people don't like it. So I agree with Corey there. However, Corey did ask a question previously, like, well, you know, as these gene therapies, come out and four different use cases, right? Will MAGA, right, and those types, the anti-vaxxers, will they still avoid this? And
Mhm.
yes, I mean, yeah, actually, right?
Yes.
I mean, the thing that
I tend to lean
um
towards that. Yes,
I agree.
they'll dig in their heels.
we've been talking about, you know, for all these weeks and months now, isn't about like I mean it's come up obviously, but like the focus has never been like on the efficaciousness of these viruses or I'm sorry, vaccines, right? Like, yeah, they're good, they're useful, right? They save lives. We got that part. We got that part. They don't. Or at the very least, it's not even about that. It's just not a thing that they necessarily got logicked into, and so you can't logic them out of it, right? And you'll say, well, there'll be a certain number of them who will be hurt, right? Or their children will be hurt because, this gene therapy that, could have helped with some sort of congenital disease. Well, like, whatever, their kids are getting hurt now, right? Like,
Hmm.
kids are getting measles. And some kids are going to get polio. And some kids are, going to get something even more exotic. That we haven't seen here in a long time. What was it? I forget which one was it vitamin K deficiency or something that we talked about a few weeks ago?
Yeah, the vitamin K shot
The
for
clot.
newborns
Hmm.
and the brain hemorrhaging.
Hmm.
Not a vaccine, but just a shot, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
a great example.
and yeah, and so in terms of like protecting children, I mean, in their minds they are, right? And you can't even begin to reverse that thinking until after their kids are hurt, right? Or they are hurt, But even then, for some of them, no, because they are so committed to the idea, it's become cultural, right? It's a cultural signifier, and they have a lot invested in maintaining that. That, yeah, they'll continue. This is, hey, abortion is another one of these things. Um, it's there. It's a myth that these pro-life women, right, are absolutely against having an abortion themselves, right? Some of them are, right? Some of them just like no way, just no way. They'll ever do it, even at the cost of their own lives. Just they're committed to that. Fair enough, right? But yeah, there are plenty of those conservative women who have ended up in those clinics,
Hmm.
right?
True. Very
Um,
true.
and when they talk to those nurses, right? Like the doctors and nurses who are in charge, right? Will say, yes, like I have a problem with abortion, but you see, my situation is a bit different. You don't really
Sure.
understand.
I'm
No,
the exception. I'm the carve
But,
out.
no lie.
but
This
me.
is how these
I
people
know.
fucking think.
I
It's
know.
crazy.
I
Yeah,
agree with
right? Yeah. But you see, I'm different, right? I'm not like those people. And they must have some sort of idea as to, like, I don't know, they're all harlots, like the women who are getting an abortion, right? No, everyone's got a circumstance, right? Everyone's got a circumstance. Um, and like, you've heard nurses say, like, yeah, uh we have had situations where one of these pro-lifers have come in, all incognito, like, gotten the procedure, because again, things are weird for me, right? Like, I actually need it. And then later on, they're back out on the picket line for that abortion clinic, right? Like, these people, they'll go back outside and be part of the protesters, because it's cultural, right?
Yeah.
Like, they have a lot invested in that whole thing. That's their social network, right?
True.
These are how, like, the picket might be organized by their church, right? Um, and then their family, right? You can't tell their family that they've gotten you'll be uh, excommunicated from your family and all that, right? So yeah, they got a lot committed to this. And so if you ask the question, hey, like, will these people like, as hopefully we get some, like, extremely effective gene therapies that, like, solve a whole list of problems that we have, medical issues. Will they partake? Uh no, not if it continues to be something cultural. This pattern might break. Something could happen that, like, you know changes this situation on the right. Um, but, like, I don't know what that might be. But if history continues on the way it is, there's no reason. There's no reason why not.
Yeah.
In their minds, they're
Yeah,
the good guys.
I don't disagree. I'm just trying to play out a scenario. Like, um, I'm curious how this will play out, and I guess maybe we'll find out. Let's say, because I can sort of at least somewhat rationalize, or at least cognitively understand. Of like, okay, let's say when it comes to the vitamin K shot, of like, um, many mothers just have the mentality of like, well, it's a newborn, and it's like, unless there's something diagnosable, like it's perfect as is. And so the mentality is like minimal intervention is, don't do anything. But like, if you're not diagnosed with the actual brain hemorrhage, like, why are you injecting my baby with something? I can sort of like at least understand that frame of reference, and say at least somewhat also with, like, let's say, the measles and all that stuff. It's like, oh well, since it's not uh, all that fatal, or the mentality is not super high, and it's like, oh, they're young, they're robust and resilient, so they'll just get over it, and then they'll have all that great immunity, without taking into account all the other secondary effects of a measles infection. But I'm curious, like, if it's something more extreme, of in like 5, 10 years, 15 years down the line, we actually have the gene therapy to treat and cure something like cystic fibrosis, pretty much the most common genetic conditions, uh, recessive genetic conditions, if I remember correctly. Um, and it's like, would a parent refuse that? As in, like, their child is like on the path to like needing a lung transplant, and like, they're having uh, multiple hospitalizations, and like, no gene therapy for my child. But like, I don't disagree with your assessment, Prime. But I would hope like that would be a turning point of like, oh, maybe I don't want to see my kid uh, drown in their own fluids as their lungs fill up with fluids. Or maybe the state has to intervene, saying, hey, actually, you are clearly not making the best decision for your child. Your child needs to get this gene therapy. Um, I don't know.
That's
That's
tough, man.
interesting.
I mean, preventative stuff, I think that you have a good case of saying, and making the case for sure. I mean, vaccines are preventative medicine. So, and we know that those diseases are out there. We know that those viruses are out there. So, I think that's an easy through line. It was actually we actually went and got um, my 4 year old. She's going to TK, and we got her vaccines this week. And I just like looked at all they gave like a little data table of like all the vaccines, all the dates, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, dang, dude, I am so happy that these people can't hurt my little girl. You know what I mean? I'm so happy that she is shielded from these people that that are seeking to do them harm. Like I really I can't get out of my mind that there are people that are have that don't vaccinate their kids that think it's okay and it's good to actually get measles, like stuff like that. Like it blows my mind um, that those people are exist and they're out there. And I'm just so happy that I mean all those shots took time, effort, effort afterwards, scheduling, us driving her there, and I guess for like the longest time I always took that for granted growing up and stuff. My mom was a nurse, so of course we had that. But man, just yeah, thinking about that stuff and all the awful outbreaks that are happening all over there. I'm like, dang, dude, like just imagine yeah. I think it shows goes to show that there has to be some type of social friction so that if someone's not doing their due diligence and not doing that, like that gets them the impetus in order to actually do that. So in the United States, it's that social frictions, the going into public schools, and for a lot of kids, that's like the thing. They don't want to, they don't want to pay for private school, and they don't want to pay for homeschooling. So that's it.
Yeah, but in like the scenario that I outline, and like I can totally see it playing because I think we've talked about cases like this. I think not in the example that I brought up, but like I can't remember exactly. Like we were talking about, I think it was in the context of like the natural birth, and as a result of I think a mother, having a whatever, yeah, a birth outside of the hospital. There was these severe complication on the child, and the mentality was like, well, this is like this is all part of like God's plan type of stuff, or like I think they basically said like they wouldn't have it any other way. And does that also that does that I imagine that mother does exist of like my child having cystic fibrosis and their lungs being filled with fluid and them drowning in their own fluids. That is part of God's plan. So no to gene therapy.
Well, I
That
mean,
is that.
there's Christian scientists, right? I mean,
Mm.
that
Yeah, no,
exist. So,
absolutely.
you
But
know.
that's hard for me to swallow. Or I like, yeah, I don't.
Or also, like, all these things can exist simultaneously, right? Like, yeah, you get brought up cystic fibrosis, and I don't know enough about that disease, but like, um,
It affects your lungs
sounds
and
pretty.
basically, well, generally, uh, you have significantly shorter life expectancy, and you just generally speaking, you you end up with chronic bacterial infections in your lung that require multiple rounds of antibiotics, hospitalizations, and eventually like the damage was up in your lungs, and it's not uncommon that they just need lung transplants or like they just the lungs stop functioning. They don't get a lung transplant.
Yeah. Awful.
Yes,
Uh, but like, I don't know. Most these things can exist all at once, right? Like, once again, you know, well, the thing that I'm facing is a big deal, right? And so, I'll get this, but then I'll still like, um, tell everyone else that you're a terrible parent because you vaccinate your child, right? Like, um, you can like these people can just like make whatever exceptions are necessary, right? Maybe this
sure.
thing isn't like those other things, right? Why? I don't know. I said so. And it's convenient for me. And anyway, I don't have to tell anyone that I engaged in it, right? Like it's really that simple. Like you could for cystic fibrosis, you could have that therapy. You can do that, and then you go right. And after you engage in that therapy, whatever that happens look like, right? You can go to your meeting of your local anti-vaxxers and say how we're going to shut this whole thing down or something. I don't know, right? All those things can exist simultaneously.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I'm just more throwing out there of like in that situation that I outlined, you know, entertain the question that we've entertained before of like, should the state intervene in that case? Do you want to go to that extent, or is it really like up to the parental decision? I don't know what the
Pretty
answer is
rough.
there.
It,
Yeah,
that's not an easy question. That's not. I don't know, man.
yeah, I don't know. I
Um,
don't. I lean towards the state intervening in there, but I'm not like, yeah, I'm not digging my heels in that position very strongly.
So
yeah.
this is an interesting through line to the next story. So this is a really interesting story, and we've talked about this a couple of times. But does your relationship need a mental load coach? We're bringing it back. Trust me. Okay. Zach Watson, a self-described quote recovering man-child, advises other men about how to take on their fair share of household labor. New York Times, August 5th. Several months ago, Dan and Megan Nichols, a couple from Cleveland, realized that they could no longer ignore the deep rift that they had developed in their relationship. The Nicholases, married over a decade and had 3 children, had increasingly heated fights over Megan's mental load. That's the ongoing and largely invisible work of managing a household and family, including resupplying groceries, scheduling everyone's medical appointments, which is the vaccines that we were just talking about, and arranging children's extracurricular activities. In heterosexual couples, these tasks largely fall on women, even though women now make up nearly half of the U.S. workforce. I was at a breaking point. I was exhausted, she said. So the couple enlisted some help. Instead of a marriage counselor, they turned to an unlikely source, Zach Watson, a former high school math and science teacher who lives in New England. He's now describes himself as a recovering man-child who becomes a mental load coach 3 years ago. And basically, he runs like an Instagram that has 500,000 followers, and he goes through kind of these things, the not just kind of like in relationships and how we exist. And we had talked about this with Maha before, where it is a burden that they are giving and putting onto like women specifically, because women are going to be scheduling the medical appointments. So now
Hmm.
they're kind of burdened with this, like, hey, this thing that we had figured out before, now we don't have it figured out. Now you need to figure out like whether or not to get a vaccine. And they burden with Bauhaus kind of burdened women with this. Um, and I thought that this was interesting. I mean, he talks about more like everyday kind of stuff, like in a relationship, just men kind of um, taking, not asking their wife or their partner where something is, or not like doing things without being asked and that kind of stuff. There's also like the roommate, dynamic, but then also the partnership stuff that he talks about. And I think it's interesting. I mean, I think mental health is very important, right? And
Absolutely.
overall health. So yeah, I was just thinking about what were your guys' thoughts on the vaccine through line, and then just thoughts in general on this.
I mean, yeah, Vex. I'm curious how your average family household comes to decisions with vaccines. As in, like, does it largely fall, to the mother? It
Yeah.
wouldn't surprise me if it does. Um, but then, like, yeah, that's just an extra burden on the mother.
Hmm.
And well, results in scenarios or articles like this of like maybe it should be more evenly distributed.
Yeah.
Although, let's say I'm not against this, but I haven't done any research on this fair play method facilitator.
Hmm.
I'm curious of like what type of training that is, or like who developed this. Let's say in principle, I'm not against this, but some of it reads to me as like a little bit of a scheme type of thing.
Yeah, it's here. Let me see if I can pull one of them up. I was listening. I was watching his content, and it was honestly like refreshing, and it's stuff that makes sense. Like um, where I do feel like a lot of it's it's like the opposite of how these MAGA people want this trad wife that can just kind of like be their manager and mommy. It's kind of saying, hey, no, you have a big role to play in this, and you have that mental load, that managerial aspect of running the house doesn't have to be um, solely with the wife. And this is actually something that I was thinking about myself, and I was like, oh my gosh, my wife does do all that entire list, all the kids extracurriculars for the summer, That was all on her. The scheduling the vaccine appointments was all her. So it's like I was like, dang, it kind of like was outing me a little bit, you know. Let me see if you guys can hear
But you're
this.
there providing the data on the vaccines. That's
Yeah, right. She's a nurse. She's good. Can you guys hear this?
I can hear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he's um yeah, here, let's try this one.
I could hear the music.
If someone sent this to you, just know that they see you in the trenches. They see you.
Shoot. I was watching one. Mental load part 366. Here we go.
Some advice I overheard in my local consignment shop from an older woman to younger women about mental load. I just got back from buying some 6-month-old clothes for these ones. As I was going through, I overheard something. A married woman of 38 years was sharing something with her younger colleagues. She was saying the entirety of the marriage, she has managed all the bills, all the billing, the accounting, the checks, the cash. She's done all that clerical labor and the cognitive labor associated with it. Recently, in his retirement, he picked up a little side hustle. There's a little bit of money involved, a little bit of bills, a little bit of accounting. He said, hey, can you do this? Like, you're good at it. Like, you've been doing it for me all these years. Can you just add this on? She's like, to the hell no. She shared that a couple of years ago, she had actually boycotted. She put the bills on the kitchen table and let them sit there, see if he would do anything about it, which he did not. So the advice she was sharing with the younger women was to never completely own a task, never completely own a thing if you don't want to be doing it forever. Now, I don't give advice to women on here. I'd love to hear in the comments how people have either taken on this advice and or implemented it. It reminds me of a conversation I was having with my editor the other day. We're talking about equality versus equity. While we can strive for equality, we're just about always going to land at equity. But what that doesn't mean that tasks are siloed to one person for the entirety of a relationship. I should be able to switch roles with any responsibility in our home. There should either be no time or a very short period of time, maybe during the learning curve phase, Melissa's able to do something or vice versa that I'm not. And that's what I think equity looks like. Hi, my name's Zach. I'm a mental load coach and recovering passenger partner. Zach. I teach men to better understand invisible labor. I'm on a mission to change the way that we have domestic equality conversations. Fall for.
Yeah. So this thing at the end there was like kind of like the big part where it's like the mental load of people having in a relationship. I think that was like the interesting point, to be kind of like better partners, more, yeah, I mean, it just being more like meeting the demands that are needed in a relationship, so that and you kind of see the other side of this, I guess, with just like the, completely hands off red pill guys that are just like, no, I want to come in and have everything doted over for me, which is like not possible nowadays, right? It's not possible to have like a one, especially with kids, like to have one single income. Like, it's just
It's definitely not
impossible.
typical. Like, I'm sure
Yeah.
there's wealthy people. I mean, there are definitely some people that couple up with this intention of like, as long as you pay for everything, I will take care of all the household. But those are
Hmm.
more like extraordinary arrangements.
Hmm.
But um, I definitely agree with the sentiment overall, as in like I think the ideal scenario, because like in a long term monogamous relationship, not that those are the only ones that exist, but as the general trend of the most common relationship type, it's like uh, yeah, I think in the at least in my mind, ideally, like every each person, like if one of the partners falls ill, like the other person should be able to at least manage everything sufficiently, as in they
Hmm.
should not be relying on of like, oh, I haven't learned how to do this thing, and therefore if I don't have access to my partner, or my partner literally cannot take care of it now, I'm just like left incompetent. And
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, I you should learn, I think, everything that it takes at least to a competent level, such that
Yeah.
in those situations, if a partner, let's say, falls ill or something happens, you can take over or manage everything for the time being.
Yeah.
I think that's the scenario to work towards in my mind.
I agree. Prime, what do you think?
Uh, it sounds to I guess Corey's concern previously. It sounds like quite very life coachy,
Hmm.
um,
For sure.
which
Yes.
not not necessarily a bad thing. Like useful advice and um, advisors can come out of like non-accredited spaces. So I to be clear, I'm not saying anything negative towards this individual, but it just it seems along that track. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think we're coming up with different names for the same thing. And it's like, I mean, it's patriarchy, right? Like,
Sure.
patriarchy tells men that these things are not their concern; they're her concern. It gives them the space to do that, and maybe it tells their mothers that, like, this is the thing I need to take care of, and then, like, I never tell my son this is something that they need to be that is of their responsibility. Maybe I tell them, oh, you need to find a good wife who will help you with this,
Hmm.
and so I reinforce this, and then it becomes the next woman's problem, right? When uh, you you have some individuals looking essentially for a mother,
Hmm.
but again, this was just looked at as men's, like clearly dividing things between men's labor and female labor, right? Like, or women's labor. Um, and so, like, yeah, like, so we have these things called man child, or like we'll have like these what's it called, like boy moms, right?
Hmm.
Where in boy moms is a little bit different, but like a little bit more disturbing. Where, but still, like, it's part of like this kind of smothering effect with these individuals. Um, and then we teach women to kind of like acquiesce, and, like, not make trouble,
Hmm.
and that, you know um uh, that you know you have certain responsibilities, but these things aren't like clearly defined. And so, since they're not clearly, even if you want to divide things, right, these things aren't clearly defined, and so there's like a creep, that happens.
Hmm.
Like, you may have been in a job that this happened. I'm not sure. I was in a job where this happened, right, where like responsibility creep, like,
Yeah, no,
takes on.
absolutely.
And
For
If
sure.
you
yeah.
demonstrate competence, they will add on more tasks. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's
oh,
exactly what
Exactly.
he was talking
yeah,
about, right? Yeah.
and
Yeah.
if another employee is incompetent, well, give it to the competent one, and so you're incentivized.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I might have an idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. So, and there's like a level of like learned helplessness, right? Um, that happens. Um, when so like growing up, like, I hate cleaning, effing hate it. I don't like it, right? I'll do it eventually when I get to it, when I feel
Hmm.
like it.
Hmm.
But I don't like it. My
On your
mom will
deathbed.
do. Yeah, that sounds like a perfect time. Like, I gotta get around to this stuff. Um, um, but like my mother, she is the opposite, which caused us a lot of friction. That, like, she loves to clean. Oh, love is probably not the word she would use, right? But
Hmm.
like, she demands things are clean, right? And so, like, this constantly caused friction between us. When I was like semi living with a girlfriend of mine, um she was more on my wavelength, that, like, hey, like, she's a big fan of cleaning, right?
Hmm.
um but like, I was like, okay, but at some point we have to clean. And so I found myself being the one, like, okay, let's do this, and we're going to do it together, right? We're going to do it together. It'll be like
Yeah.
a fun, it'll be a couples thing, right?
Exactly.
It's a date.
It's yeah, right. And we'll we'll do it. And then I was like an interesting turn in advance. And I told this lady, right, like, hey, never tell my mother this. Don't you ever. I will deny it. Don't you ever tell my mother I did this. But like, I thought that it was an interesting experience for me, right? It's not, and to be clear, like, even as a child, like, one, I did help out like with household chores, right?
Hmm.
So, um, but like, I clearly didn't like doing those things, right? Um, but I didn't feel like I could just like lay it on like someone else. Um and okay, so the other thing I want to talk about here is like, and what does an actual equitable division looks like? Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I'm not
Exactly.
in a relationship now, right? And our friend Dr. Greg will probably have more to say on this, but like, maybe Corey will talk about his secret girlfriend. I don't know. But like
Girlfriends. No.
girlfriends, indeed, right?
It's a red pill podcast now.
But like still like you want to try to maintain some level of balance, right? Because people do have strengths and weaknesses, right? Like
Hmm.
I could be better with money. I could be better with money. I could be better with money. I don't like admitting that, but like I'm not like great. I'm not great. Sometimes, right? Like um at least in terms of household stuff, right?
Hmm.
Um and so like I could imagine like if I had a girlfriend, like okay, if you're responsible, right?
Yeah.
If you're good, it's like maybe you should take on this task, right? Um and as a relationship advances, like let's say you guys are in it for the long haul,
Hmm.
like there's going to be more things that creep up, right? Especially if you guys like buy a house, right? You're trying to maintain a household, and then children, but like these things like pile up. How do you actually maintain like something that inequitable? I think is a good term for this, rather than equal, because like I mean there's nothing wrong with trying to like find equal amount of workload for each other, but like that's a difficult thing to maintain if you like focus on like 50-50. Like I don't know, right? Like what is equal effort when like is taking out the trash the same as like cooking, right? Like cooking takes a lot of more effort, right? So like, oh, I've got my one thing where I take out the trash that needs to be taken out like what, once every week, right? And you got cooking, like I don't know, maybe that's fine for you, right? But again, equitable, right? Like where people don't feel taken advantage of.
Yeah.
I
You're,
guess
Yeah,
I guess is what I want to say, but like, yeah. Um, go ahead. Sorry.
I agree. Like, I think at the end of the day, it has to be. Well, I think we're probably in agree. Like, it has to be like negotiated, and I think there's an interesting dynamic that plays out
negotiated.
uh, in terms of um, like so uh, the default, or at least maybe not default, but like maybe as alluded to in the article, and like we're speaking about, like it's gonna be the overall sort of like common scenario is like the woman takes the major responsibility in terms of managing the household. And like, yes, uh, men should be more receptive in terms of receiving feedback from the partner if they're expressing like, hey, you are not carrying your weight in the house and managing the household. But
Hmm.
then also at the same time, probably maybe as you alluded to, I think prime of like women are generally let's say socialized or maybe socialized slash incentivized to not be more vocal or they should be more vocal in expressing their dissatisfaction if the other person is not carrying their weight. But then if it's the case as in like for example uh, if it's moving towards being more equitable, then I also think that probably some sort of new equilibrium. Because usually, I think the scenario that typically plays out is like, okay, let's say it's typically the woman who, for example, does the cooking and the dishes, but then now the man wants to start uh, contributing to that. But then I think the typical scenario plays of like, well, then the man has to do the cooking and the dishes the way that their partner dictates. And if the dishes aren't done 100% exactly the way that the partner dictates, then that's a failure on the man's part, right? And so then is that is that truly equitable in that sense? In my mind, it's not because that just means that the woman is still managing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So so I think Prime, you're exactly right. It's like deconstructing patriarchies and like how we understand this stuff, and honestly like redefining what masculinity is in your own mind, because it's like a lot of times I think like forcing that 50-50, like forcing that that tally system, like that counting system
Or yeah,
is
just keeping score is probably not
yeah,
the best way
exactly.
to put it.
So exactly. And that so we actually had a marriage coach. We're not religious, but like Catholics do like a marriage coach thing before, you get
Getting married,
married.
yeah.
And we thought that that was a good idea. So we went to a therapist and it was amazing, man. It really did help. Like going to a therapist and when things are going well is a really good idea because it basically gives you the tools to help when things aren't going bad. And he we talked about this and he said like love doesn't keep score. Love won't keep that tally system. You just give like 100% and they give 100%. And then the idea is that you're selflessly contributing to the relationship by doing the things that you're passionate about, and then they'll do the things that they're passionate about, and then you'll equal out. So for me, like I went from, so like with that mentality, I went from like, I don't want to do the dishes because the dishes suck, they're gross, to like, oh wow, my mom, my wife, like, was, this is a really
You're gonna
important.
say you were gonna say mom just then. That's
Yeah,
what
I
you were
was.
gonna say.
I was yeah.
Go
uh
ahead.
my wife is saying, hey, I want this done, this is really important to me. And instead of me being like thinking about it transactionally, I was I'm like, oh wow, it's hard to know how to show some love to someone. There's a lot of, this book that we read too. A part of this is like the five love languages, and people like to have their love shown in different ways, right? And basically, you could like be, gifting them something. It could be their time. It could be, acts of certain, like, things that you can do for them. And basically, it's like, basically they're telling you, like, this is how you show me love. And for my wife, it's like cleaning lets me tell her that I love her. And yeah, because I say I love you, and like she's like, okay, that's cool, but like maybe her love language isn't hearing that. Maybe she doesn't really care about me just saying I love you. She wants to like see it in action. So it went from like transactional before we went to this counselor to afterwards. I was like, oh dude, this is like easy, I know how to do the dishes. Like, this is, I can do the dishes, you know what I mean? Like, that's not a bad thing, because think about it, like
What if you
how.
don't know how to do the dishes?
Yeah, exactly. Well, imagine if you had a gift. Your gift was your love language. Like, what kind of gift are you gonna get me? Like, I don't know. You got to figure me out.
Dishes.
You know what I mean? No, usually it's like, something of like they
I
make
know,
or
I know,
something like
I
that.
know.
But that's like, that's hard. That's hard, man. How do I get? What am I gonna make? How am I gonna make it? What am I gonna? How am I gonna make it special? That's harder for me to figure out. But for like dishes, dude, like dishes, like I can do dishes. So that's kind of like how so I've just taken that on like wholly, like, and that's just the thing that I do now, because it's like I know how to do it. I can do it in like less than 10 minutes and just like get it done, and then it's done. And we do the same thing with like, I'll do the finances and the taxes and um the trash and the floors and like all these other things. And that my wife is like really busy right now with school and work and stuff, so I mean, but she's still managing to do like the stuff that I was talking about, like the managing the kids schooling, the medical appointments, the extracurriculars, like all those type of things. So I gave 100% in these areas, and then she kind of like picks up where she can too. So I think that's the big idea.
Yeah, and that's great. But I'm curious, because it sounds like the advice that you receive, if I remember correctly, it's like if if each partner is giving selflessly, then it's like
Hmm.
you'll sort of like reach this natural equilibrium.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
true love is never keeping score. But it almost sounds like, but what if that doesn't? Or like, I don't know that it's a given that that advice works for every single couple. Like if you're just giving selflessly, then you'll naturally, you don't have to keep score. Things will just work out fine. I don't know that that.
Yeah, I think that people, I mean, ideally, you have a relationship where you're both trying to build something that's like bigger than into the you individually, right? You're trying to build this
Ideally, yeah,
partnership, and then
but but
they'll bring that together.
at least for me, sorry to interrupt, but it
Yeah,
raises
that's
the
fine.
question of like, how do you know that you are giving selflessly?
Not keeping score, like kind of just doing things and trying to um just giving 100% of yourself into the relationship. I think that's the
Yeah,
big
but like
thing.
how, like in principle, that sounds good, and I'm on
Hmm.
board with that. But it's like how do you know that you're doing that?
how
Like
the other
it,
person
because
feels, like how the other person feels too, if they don't feel
but shouldn't the
neglected
other
or.
person be keeping score in some sense?
No, they should be giving 100%. It's not 50-50. Hazel said it in chat, which is 100% true. It's like, it's not 50-50. It's 100%, 100%. And if you have
I don't
someone
disagree there,
if you have
but
someone
like,
in your relationship that just isn't giving 100%, then that's the problem, right? You know what I mean? That's the bigger problem.
I think what Corey is trying to say is that like, okay, I can give what I perceive to be 100%, right?
Hmm.
But like in the way that the division of tasks shakes out, it still seems to be that one person is putting out like a disproportionate amount of effort. Again, we're not aiming for 50-50 or anything, but like
yeah.
that,
Sorry to,
like the
I'm just
work.
gonna interject one
Sorry,
thing of
go ahead.
like, I imagine there's gonna be some men that this article is alluding to that they're under the illusion that they're giving 100%, and that is the source
Hmm.
of conflict.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know, and also like because like it could be the case that a person is like working like really hard in terms of like um okay, there's two different scenarios here. One, it could be a case that a person like is working like really hard, especially at work. Work's extremely stressful, and they're coming back and then like to home, and um there's a level of friction. It's like, oh, I want you to take on more tasks. It's like I feel exhausted coming back from work, and like I feel like I can't do more than this, right?
Mhm.
um that doesn't mean that the other person doesn't have their stressors. They could also be working themselves, right? Like outside of the home, but still, right, like that person's thinking like, I am giving a lot, right, to this relationship, and this relationship wouldn't work if I didn't wouldn't be anything if I didn't go out and like do this job.
Yep.
um and then there's that scenario, but there's the other scenario where like you know like you were just like never taught to do anything more, right? And like your very limited scope of 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 tasks that you feel that are acceptable, you're
Hmm.
doing those tasks, right? You're doing those to 100%. um and so like when your partner like complains, you're like, wait a minute, I don't understand, right? Like I am doing this 100%. Like this is coming out of nowhere, right? I'm not actually, I don't like get it. Why are you
Hmm.
mad at me when like this like limited range, wherever I think that is, right? Like I'm doing those things, and I shouldn't be expected to do anything else. Do you see the difference between those two? I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah,
if
for
that's
sure. I mean, I think in
you know.
both of those aspects, you're talking about like just open in communication, right? One being that I am giving 100%. You don't think that I'm giving 100%. And then in the second one is like I have a lot going on in my life, and I need you to pick up more. You know, my 100% is yielding, or sorry, the other one is you didn't know that these things are important, or these tasks like are needed, right? It's kind of like an expertise problem. But so I would say it's just kind of like the in both of them, it's just communication, right? That having those communications with your partner, trying to say like, hey, I feel like I'm handling more of a mental load than you are on this. Can you pick up the
But that's keeping
slack?
score though.
Well, I
That goes
mean,
against the advice though,
well,
at least in
but
my mind.
I, I mean, I think you
As
can
in,
not keep
in my mind,
score.
based off of the advice, the rebuttal should always be. I'm not saying this is not an endorsement, but it's like, well, you are, if someone is critiquing you or is sharing with you that like, oh, I feel like I'm doing more
Mhm.
in this relationship, like the rebuttal should be is like, well, that means you're keeping score, and you shouldn't be keeping score. But
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, I do think that you want to be you want to be contributing. Both sides want to be contributing. um but if there is that friction and there's that perceived friction, then I can understand. I mean, that's obviously, you still have to talk about that stuff, right? I think that's and if you're getting that feedback, I think it's like internalizing that, and then creating action off of that, and not being defensive of it. I think that that's the big thing too, is like trying to
I agree. Being
be held
receptive is
accountable and
key.
being like, thank you for receipt, because you don't want to create a scenario where your partner can't come to you with problems that they have, you know. So I
True.
think that that's
100%.
the biggest thing, is like trying to um, keep an open dialogue, keep, you know, talking to people, but then also um, but yeah, if there is that match, that mismatch, man, there are some people where it's just like a toxic relationship that they just don't really care. Maybe they're like more interested in drugs or whatever.
Drugs.
Yeah, you know, then you can like you can definitely spiral down where you're just like, okay, well, or perception of like one living off of the other, you know, like perceptual, perpetual unemployment or underemployment or
Yeah, but
like that.
I,
um, yeah,
I
go
think
ahead,
the thing
Fred.
that you're running into,
Mm,
Corey, right, is that like, you know, relationships are complicated and they can't necessarily be reduced down to like a pithy, like a statement, you know,
yeah.
right? Like, you know,
I
like
agree.
everyone, you
Yes.
should all, yeah, you should all just give 100%, right? Like, and I think these things are a good place to start to like, you know, try to get people to think in the right direction. But yeah, like this, none of this takes into account like, you know the complexities of you know two real individuals with real circumstances, right? And all
Over
that
like
comes with
20,
it.
30, 40 years potentially, right?
Yeah, and like the different stresses that happen, you know, like, you know, deaths in the family and how that changes things, you know, and how long should one person be allowed to grieve, you know, and you know, like, oh, like I'll take on this load, but then like
Or be
when do
sick.
I like give it up? Yeah, or get sick, you know, like all these things are that are happening, right? Like, I'm sure like you know our viewers, you know, they have like they're many of them are in relationships, lucky people, um but like you know they're facing their challenges, a whole list of challenges, and like and the relationship has to move it if it's going to survive, has to adapt to these things, right? But like
Hmm.
some adaptations are fairer than others, and so like yeah, like we can only take this like you know this there's a term for this, but like this like
Platitude.
platitude, yes, platitude, thank you, this platitude so far, right? Before we run into like, you know, the realities of how these things actually can play out in real life.
Yeah.
um then and that means like, well, hey, it's not, this is not a replacement for an actual like therapy then, you know, like if
Hmm.
that's what you need, right? Yeah.
Which is good, and I think that that's the big takeaway. I would recommend everyone, like, since COVID, a lot of therapy, a lot of couples therapy is like you can go online now through apps and stuff like that, and it's a huge benefit. A lot of workplaces and stuff will actually give vouchers and stuff for like, you know, 2 or 3 times a year, and honestly, the like you don't need to go to, you know, like Seinfeld and stuff had like, oh, I go to my shrink 2 times a week, you know, and you're like, well, that's a little impractical. Nobody needs to do that. And honestly, just like going a couple times can be really earth shattering, because it can help you realign yourself a little bit and like deconstruct something that you know, a thought process. And then you can look at it a different way just by a couple of questions with a good therapist, and you can be like, oh, okay, this is really nice. So, um, you know, full disagree. I mean, obviously, if you can afford like going to the therapist more
Well,
than that,
they're the
then
same.
that's
Well,
okay.
like in principle, no one should be ever seeking out professional marriage counseling. That seems like a very interesting position to have. I can understand, let's say, a financial burden or financial
Weekly
barrier,
therapy and
but
weekly couples therapy. Yeah, I think, I mean, my point, Bad Bears, is that just in case you can't afford weekly therapy doesn't mean that it's not productive to go. I think that that's the biggest misnomer that people have. Like just because you can't do that doesn't mean that you shouldn't do that. And I'm not saying that that's not a bad thing, but like that's excessive, and
yeah,
the
but
that's a high bar.
yeah, it is. And it should ideally be more accessible. But it may have sounded like a joke when I asked it, but like I
Mhm.
was somewhat seriously asking, like, because you said you know how to do the dishes, but like, what if you
Yeah.
didn't know how to do the dishes and like you had to be coached?
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think you see this particularly with like cooking. Like, how do you like? What if I only know how to cook like a small amount of things or something? You know, I think
Yeah.
you can look it up though. Like you can look it up. Like, I
I don't
don't.
disagree, but that's
Yeah,
where it's uh, like going back to I think a typical scenario that may play out is like uh, if if one of the partners, probably maybe the woman is expressing, hey, I would appreciate if you did more of the cooking and the
yeah,
dishes, and the man takes it upon themselves to start doing that and
yeah.
also looking it up, but uh, if it's not up to, let's say, the other partner's standards, it's like, well, how do you navigate that? Or it's like, and I understand that there's like a threshold of like but like what should the cooking by the other partner exactly replicate what the other partner would do, type of thing, or
I mean, I think something like that, you kind of see what you like, see what you can make that would be different that they've always wanted or something like that. Like my, I'd never made a cake before in my life, and my wife really liked cheesecake. And so I was like, well, I'm going to make a pumpkin cheesecake, So I learned how to make the best pumpkin cheesecake like in the freaking world. And so that's what I do now for um for her birthday. And then I'll even go the extra mile and do like the ginger crusts and stuff. I make gingerbread cookies specifically just to like make the crumble on the crust. I'll bake those cookies, and then I'll make a double batch so we can have those cookies, and then I'll make half of them and then make freaking the crust out of just those cookies. It's incredible. And so like so I think like there are ways that you can kind of like take inspiration and kind of like make it your own. That's the
yeah,
cool
I
thing
don't
about it.
I'll maybe use a more concrete example of like even something as simple as like loading the dishwasher. It seems like some people in my experience are very particular of how dishwasher is loaded,
Yeah, but
and it's
but that's only if they're like you're loading half and they're loading half. Like, you know what I mean? If it's getting done, I don't think that they're ever gonna get mad
Yeah, some
about it.
people are gonna have a
But yeah,
problem.
but no, but some people like
Yeah.
I've seen these arguments
What?
play out of like the dishes are done, but it's like, oh, you did not put this particular thing in this particular place the way I do it, therefore that
So
is a fail.
my thing on this is like if you have that much, if you're passionate about it, that should probably be your thing. Like
Mm.
that should be and
Well, I would maybe go like I don't disagree there, but I think that's where it's like I think that's a negotiation of like, okay, if you want me to do the dishes, you have to maybe ease up a little on
yeah.
like it's not going to be exactly
Yeah, I
you
think
should be
that's
happy
fine.
with 95% passing.
Yeah, I think so. Dan Savage has a good point on this. Like, who's an awesome relationship columnist, and he's talking about how, like, you when like he would also but his partner would leave the jelly out, like when he was making a PB&J. He would have a that was just, and then he would just get so mad at his partner, like, oh my god, you're leaving the jelly out, what are you doing? Like, this is what you're causing this problem. He's doing this, he's leaving the jelly out. And then he just came to the realization that it's like, well, if it's your like thing, you really care about the jelly going back in the refrigerator. You've kind of like volunteered yourself to just like put it away too. It's like just put it away. Like you
Yeah,
like the person that cares that much about it. If you're spending that much time, instead of being mad about it, just like put it away and just kind of like that it's not everyone is going to be perfect. And if that's your yeah, patience,
but that's
exactly,
where I think
Evelyn.
the other person should be able to like that's where it's I think a give and take of like the other person maybe learn to maybe back off or pick your battles of like you maybe don't need to go to war on like whether the person is pressing on the toothpaste at the appropriate spot. Like,
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
maybe something to die on.
That's a good one too, Bad Bears. Yeah, the dishwasher argument is typically an off ramp for other things in a relationship. Yeah, I think that also comes
Yeah,
up so
that's
much.
true.
If you like, what
But
are you actually arguing about? Is a good question. Like, what are you actually having a conversation about? Because a lot of times it's just like, man, this is like on the scheme of things. Like, are we actually like having this ongoing fight? And that's honestly, this is like that's a good place for therapy too, so you can kind of like see not to
I don't
like
disagree. But there are some genuine times of some people are very obsessive about how particular things get done. Even just like with cleaning, of like if
Yeah.
if the man starts doing more of the cleaning, it's like, oh, you're not exactly cleaning the way that I would clean. And even though things
Mhm.
are still clean and still things are still getting done, it's like, well, it's still a fail type of thing.
I think, but at the same time, this is also the tragedy of low expectations too. Like
Sure.
men, because of like are like doing half the work on something and then expecting 100% of the the accolades, when in reality it's like if you're really not doing a good job at something, like you should be doing a better job at it too. Again,
I
like
don't
take
disagree. And there's
accountability
there's
for
totally
it.
weaponized incompetence, but
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
also
exactly.
doing a good job, but still like there is an aspect of like if you are let's say whether you can actually measure this, but assuming you are doing a job, but the critique is still happening,
Hmm.
that eventually
Yeah,
disincentivizes you to do anything,
exactly.
right?
No, 100%. I agree with that too. Yeah, I think it's
And that's
um
why it's like it's hard to negotiate, but it should be negotiated, but it should be a give and take of like,
mhm.
okay, like yes, the other person that let's say needs to start carrying their own weight, I agree, they need to put in 100% and do things competently, but also maybe there might be some some backing off on the other partner, or like
Yeah.
knowing when to pick your battles type of stuff.
I think it is one of those things where it's these conversations seem so I don't know. It, I think that like genuinely these conversations are why so many people are young people like 18 to 25-year-olds are going to like this MAGA trad wife kind of thing, because it's just kind of like a patriarchal. Yeah, we do have a patriarchy, and you're going to listen to what I say, and you're going to do this. I'm not going to do any dishes. You handle all this kind of stuff, um, and what I think what's causing a lot of this is just like these men that aren't like bucking up, man. They're not like doing their part in the relationship, and
I agree.
yeah, and I think that that's the big problem is like we on the left we have to kind of like reclaim masculinity, in this guise.
I don't know. I mean, I think that's part of it. Certainly. It's just that like there's a lot of buy-in from women, from the trad wife perspective, and the buy-in is less. I want to do a lot more, or is that like I want more things to do? It's that like I want to offload other things, right? Like,
Mhm.
hey, I don't want to go to work, right? I don't want to like a corporate job or anything. Like I'd like it if I had a partner who could take care of that. Um, One of the issues is that like the trad wife influencers who look glamorous as like they're doing all these things in their fancy dresses and their well lit massive kitchens, right? Like yes, they have
And
like
they're perfectly
partners,
manicured nails.
perfectly
Yeah.
manicured nails, yeah. As they're like doing the bread, which they make bread every morning or whatever. Yeah, well, like that, like it's an illusion for a lot of these women. Or they can have partners who just happen to be well off, or it's that hey, this social media thing that I've created is actually being well paid, and so like I've got a lot of help, like what you don't see other producers who are assisting me in making all this, right? Oh, also have childcare, right?
Mhm.
While I'm working on my social media career and all that stuff. But yeah, sure. But moving that aside, right? Like what the point is to examine the desire. And yes, there is a desire for some of these people just like because I mean work life sucks for a whole list of reasons. We don't have to name them all here, right? Um and more than that, it's like the stressors of keeping your head above water, right? Like that, we have an economy that is not looking great. And we have, uh, you know, a world filled with uncertainty. Like, this seems like, you know, from what I'm gathering from these women, it seems like they're trying to like avoid all that, right? Like to get certainty. If I have this guy, um, and let's say they're committed, right? Like the friends like, oh, what if he leaves you and all that? Let's put that aside for now, right? this person who's committed to me, maybe the marriage or whatever, right?
Mhm.
Who's like committed to me and who's going to take care of that, right? I don't have to worry about it. Like he'll be the leader, right? Like this is there's a mindset here. There's a way of living, and where this person becomes the leader, and he takes care of those things. So I don't have to worry about that. There are things I'll take care of, but I don't have to worry about those things, right? Like certainty comes from his steady leadership, and like um, hmm, I don't think that that desire in itself, like, is bad or evil, right? That like, hey, I just want a life that I don't have to deal with these things, right? Like, and it sucks, and I can maybe focus on things that I care about. Like maybe I care about like childcare. I mean, I really want to be a mother and be focused on that, right? Like, I can't tell a person that's a bad thing. It's just that like I because life is inherently uncertain. I don't know how you can truly escape all these things, and 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 your attempts to escape might put you in a situation that's really unfortunate. I don't know. I'm saying a lot of stuff. So
Yeah, I I think that the inevitability and the reality is just that we're gonna have a dual income. You know, the next generation, the Gen Z women are taking the, you know, the education and the autonomy approach, and I think that that's just the reality that so many people want to be something bigger than outside of their home. And I think that you can be both. And I think that even if my wife could be, if I had enough to have a single income, I would still want my wife to be you know, working or volunteering in some capacity, just so that,
Well, if she wants, unless you'd force her to work. No.
no, I'm saying that I would want her to. Like, did she? Yeah, did she? Because it's important for our kids to see their mom or both parents, um, as people in the community. That we aren't just like are a family. That we are part of something bigger. And I think that that's an important lesson. Like, it was a big
I,
moment for
I don't
my.
disagree, but that it sounds like you're saying like if the desire was not there or she had a change of heart, that would affect the relationship. Presumably, that's
Yeah,
what it sounds like.
I would not be
Okay,
not okay with that, because
interesting. Okay, that's fair.
because like my mom growing up, like she was a nurse and she got, you know, on call and stuff like that. And you know, um she was this member of this, you know, broader community where she helped, you know, families and helped other, yeah, other people in times of need. And that was like a big thing for me growing up, seeing that, like, wow, we can have, you know, reverberating impacts and helping other people, you know, in society. And I think that's a
mm,
big point.
I have no comment on as to like what you want within your own relationship. That's fine. I like feel
Mhm.
like that's there's nothing wrong with what you just said. I'm thinking about my own like what I would want and what would I be okay with.
Mhm.
Um, you know, if my let's say wife came to me and said she didn't want to work anymore, but like corporate job whatever.
Mhm.
And like we could afford her not to. I don't think I would deny her that. Um like I think her responsibilities can change. And I think she could do the things that you were saying without necessarily being in the standard the traditional workforce, right?
Mhm.
Um like one, like again, if we're raising a family, well, she can focus on that. Assuming that's I would assume that's what she's wanting me to do. Maybe she doesn't want to do that either. That's
No
completely
work, no
understand.
family, just couch and bed.
It could it could be
Shopping.
one of those.
It's possible.
There's a soft life, right? You guys have heard that, right? Like,
Absolutely, yes.
yeah. There's women who want the that soft life thing, and I don't know. I'd like to be the type of guy who can afford that, right? That seems unlikely, but like if I was, okay, well then things open up, I guess. I don't know, right? But putting that aside, um, like yeah, so like I guess like I don't want to have a rigid idea of like what contributing means.
Mhm.
Um, and so like I want to give space to that. And again, this is not a criticism, right, at all. Like I'm just like thinking out loud as to like how I would what I would want. Um, I guess I'd want to give her the space to do that. Again, assuming I can provide that. I don't know. Again, thinking out loud.
Go last word, Corey. We'll go for it.
I'm more or less of the same mentality. I'm like, let's say, I am open to like, let's say, my future partner also like wants to quit their job, and even like they don't want to focus on family, but
Mhm.
like they want to do some soul searching type of stuff. It's like I'm not opposed to that, assuming I can afford it. But like, yeah, if they want like the permanent arrangement of them just more or less doing nothing, yeah, that would not fly with me. I would I at least want them. I would want them to find meaning in doing something other than just yeah sitting there or lying there. Uh, that seems yeah.
Hold on. But what if the thing that you want to focus on is being beautiful for you?
I would like to think that I am not that egocentric that I would be okay with that.
I'm not entirely sure I wouldn't.
That's fair. That's fair.
But
But that
I mean,
seems a little bit off.
again,
Yeah.
that's like it's a
Even if they're like, yeah,
person who could
I
afford
just
that.
want to go to the nail salon and get my hair done every day just for you. Like again, I don't know how exactly I would feel if I'm ever in a situation, whether I will be. But if I'm speculating, something seems off for me for that, or that doesn't feel right to me
High five, man.
at all.
Yeah, so my actual problem with that is not
Mhm.
that desire in of itself, right? I think my problem with that would be like w- the type of person that I've like tied myself to,
Mhm.
um, that like uh, that type of person I think has a set of values, right, or priorities that like doesn't seem conducive to like a long-term relationship, right? Like a
Yeah.
long-term, like
I think that would
through thick
that,
or thin type of situation. That's what I'd be worried about. That's fine for like a short-term thing, right? For fun. But that's less fine for hey, we're going to create something lasting where one person just like is kind of is checked out in that way and it's just like live I don't know, live that soft life, right? Like I just it doesn't sound like a person that like I can necessarily rely on, and that's my issue.
Yeah.
Rather than I mean I like them,
no,
I
you're
want to
probably
look
like
pretty for me, but like
uh,
other than that,
as you said it, like almost certainly there is a part of that uh, that results in that situation not feeling good to me. As in, like there seems to be a clash in values
yeah,
fundamentally, and that's probably influencing it. That's part of the reason why I feel the way that I do. But there's also the
yeah,
fact
yeah,
that like yeah, the just doing that just for me. Yeah, there's other things as well. But that, what you said is absolutely part of it for sure. Which is that
yeah,
clash in values.
All right, guys. Last story of the night. Um, AI data centers are making your energy costs higher, and now viruses are coming out of them. So the AI just created viruses not found in nature. Scientists trained artificial intelligence on libraries of DNA and then asked the model to create recipes for viral genomes. 16 of them were viable, yielding new viruses. New York Times, August 6th. For the first time, scientists have used artificial intelligence to create new kinds of viruses, raising hopes for medical advances while also raising the disturbing possibility that the technology could someday be used to invent dangerous pathogens. Synthesizing viruses from scratch is hardly new. Researchers long ago learned how to manufacture viral genomes. They are used to investigate antiviral drugs and vaccines, as well as learn how viruses work. But the new study, published Thursday in the journal Science, goes goes well beyond duplicating viral genomes. Scientists at Stanford and Arc Institute, a research organization in Palo Alto, taught AI to recognize patterns of DNA structure in nature and then use that data to write recipes for entirely new viruses. The researchers followed these recipes to create DNA molecules, which they inserted into bacteria. The modified bacteria then produced viruses never seen in nature. The viruses were able to infect other bacteria, demonstrating that they are viable. Pretty awesome stuff. I think biologically, I think as a biologist, I think that this is amazing. I think that this is very cool. So some medical advances that could be from this, other than like the fear mongering. So imagine like microbial resistances, for example. Like instead of having to only rely on like yeast or other microbes to find antibiotics, like maybe we could engineer our own class of antibiotics that was not resisted before, that kind of thing. And it gives a really interesting capability to remember, like, so viruses are delivering DNA, delivering RNA. Now we could use this technology to create new types of viruses for like larger payload delivery, for example, because right now a pretty big limitation is actually like how big the viral capsid is. So like that payload, that DNA or RNA payload is limited by that. So it'd be cool to deliver new types of technologies with different types of viruses and basically try to be more specific, larger payloads, that kind of thing.
Yeah, seems really cool. Although, so I have not dug into the actual original research paper yet, um, but at least based off of my algorithm, this our article and this headline was circulating quite a bit. So I'm curious, how much traction it's getting in the general public. But I would say this seems maybe not overblown, but doesn't seem as let's say scary as it's being made out to be. Because like yeah, technically what they did, you can the ability to do this. You can do this now. It just so happens that like AI played a part in the steps of this. That's all, and they just happened to come up with some new DNA sequence. But there's nothing, uh, I would say, super groundbreaking yet. But this is potentially a step in that direction. Um, but all that to say is like, yeah, cool. But I think maybe a little bit overblown or over exaggerated. As in, I don't think this is going to result in uh, any new viruses that are a threat to human health in the near future. I
Oh,
could be wrong, but
agreed. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
but
it's interesting. Someone did another bioinformatics paper analyzing it, and it seems like the virus is basically like mimicking structures that are already found in nature. So it's which is
yeah,
kind of cool.
exactly. It's just kind of like, from what I understand, from what I extracted just from the article, I have not read the original research paper,
Mhm.
but I hope to pretty soon. I will, like, yeah, just like some this well characterized bacteriophage, and again, bacteriophage as in a virus not not infectious to humans that only infects bacteria.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
That's one of the reasons why they chose it. Yeah.
yeah, which makes sense, and I'm glad that that was the step that they took. Uh, but like, yeah, just so happens that AI played a part and it resulted in just like, yeah, a virus happen having genes that it didn't have before, but it was still the same virus, as in it didn't like they didn't create any sort of brand new virus, just like a virus that was tweaked a little bit and tweaked in a way that we hadn't seen before. That's about it, at least
Yeah.
from what I gathered from the article. But one thing that I'll add is like, well, where's all the outcry, or are these researchers going to be prosecuted for gain of function research?
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. That's so
How much
funny.
more gain of function can you
Oh
get?
my God.
Who
That
funded this? Is
dude,
this
that's so funny.
is this under RFK's watch? I believe this is under Stanford in the
That's
U.S.
amazing because he's
So
banned it because Trump banned gain of function research, bro. That's what he said. I've been going on all these TikTok panels talking about the Fauci stuff, and everyone's been saying that how, hey Ness, about how it's like, he's done a great job. Trump has really handled this well. We're prosecuting these guys. We're banning gain of function research. That's not happening. And I'm like, bro, it's happening. It's just that
you
you
have
don't
new
know about
viruses,
it. Yeah,
right in your own
yeah,
backyard. This is out of the U.S., I
exactly.
believe.
That's a good point. Oh my God, that's so funny. Um, Yeah, I mean, any thoughts, Prime? What are you thinking about?
Mm. Uh, I think that something else we've discussed multiple times is that this is prime. This is perfect for sorry, this bug my screen. Sorry, this is perfect for um a a viral headline. I wasn't trying to make a pun there.
True.
But like,
But it
yeah,
works. It works.
it works. This is perfect for like, there's a hot button issue, a thing that people are scared about. We can link it to some other some we can imply some sci-fi doomsday scenarios happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we can allow people's imaginations to just do the rest,
Yep.
right? Fill in the blanks,
Exactly.
right? Like, and so like now AI is inventing viruses, you know what? I don't
And
know,
that
like
is
it.
effectively the headline, right? And that's
Tech.
probably
I
what's going to
mean,
be implanted in the general public's head. But that's not really what took
exactly.
place.
I think that's yeah, the whole idea that these data centers are now going to be spinning out like biological viruses and pandemics from them is that that's what people
Yeah.
are that's what I see people coming away from it.
But like, yeah, I mean, some people will be joking on the internet about this, right? Because they know it's silly, but they're having fun of it. Others will be like
Oh, it's
thinking
not a
this is
joke.
the end, right? Like
Yeah.
we're like the sign of the apocalypse, um, and like it works one way or other in terms of engagement. Actually, it works very well that way, and so it spreads even more on social media, right? As long as you're engaged with the story, it doesn't really matter
Hmm.
like what you're thinking of it. And so like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like it seems like, there's like, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but like, all it is coming up with, the sequence of nucleotides, right? Like
Yeah,
here's a,
you're effectively correct.
yeah, here like we're gonna like train the model on a whole like, a library of like sequences that we have, right?
Mm-hmm.
um can you create another sequence that is valuable, right? And
Yeah.
then it did, right? It just like remixed, those four letters, right? It just remixed it into something that actually, was. And that it's great. I mean, assuming like this, the research is being honest with like the results and all that, right? But like, yeah, it remixes something that it was. So like, but like it was just like a list of letters, right? Um, and from there, it's like, oh my god, super weapons, like biological super weapons are coming out of these labs now, powered by AI, the other thing that we dislike.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. And so I don't know, man. Yeah, this just it's perfect for this type of thing. That being said, I think like I'm trying to give like the most charitable interpretation of like a fear. And like the X factor here is always like um a bad actor, right? Fill in the blank as who you think is a bad actor, because if you think uh, anyone who would have worked with Fauci is a bad actor, well then that's something else, right? But like, but okay, like and by this like we mean like either some guy working like in his basement, right, in the lab, and he was like up to no good, right, and he's like trying to like make a biological weapon or hurt a massive number of people, or right, a state actor working do to have a weapon. um and so like I guess the fear is that like this would increase their productivity, right? Like the article said, like people we've known how to do these things for a long
Mm-hmm.
time, right? So this would increase the productivity, lower the barrier, right, to be able to do this, right? The barrier of entry to be able to do this, and then from there make this into a more dangerous world. So I want to ask you two, right? So like, rather than me speculate on that, because I don't know, like, is that possible? Like, is that steel man? Is that something that something to be concerned about?
So
Uh, yeah, go
basically,
ahead.
I would say every single upgrade in molecular biology machinery and tools that we have technically is an increased ability in order to create a bioweapon, like just inherently, right? A CRISPR CRISPR was a big thing. This is like a huge thing now. Oh my gosh, now everyone is more easily going to be able to target specific people's genomes. Oh my God, now that we have sequencing on everyone. Oh my gosh, now we can have people's sequences, and then we could target specific people with bioweapons and that kind of stuff. So I think that that's the bigger thing. How these things are actually made, the safeguards that are in check, because technically I have all the skills necessary in order to do something like that too, like, but you basically, the DNA synthesizers like
Yeah, you don't
literally
have all
will
the resources though. Do you
yeah,
have a
there's
thermocycler in your
well,
garage?
even if you did, basically the people that print the DNA and that send it to you do checks on this stuff. They check and make sure that you're not like binding to something, a human cell, and you're a virus or something like that.
Unless we're talking about a state actor, right?
I mean,
Or yeah, your
theoretically,
own
you could buy,
synthesizer.
yeah, you could buy the $500,000 machine in order to synthesize it. Which would have that money. Yeah, yeah, that would be it. But yeah, it'd be very expensive, and you would be under some type of institutional support for sure. It'd be expensive. We actually at UC Riverside, they literally taught a class on bioweapons, like how to make them, how to, because you need to know how to make them in order to defend against them, in order to
Mm-hmm.
recognize them, and which is another reason why lab leak isn't real, because you literally, like, it has none of the handles that you would need to, like, in order to work with the virus that you could
Mm.
use for that purpose. So yeah, it's interesting, man. I think, but you're right. I think that it's completely overblown. You know. Go ahead, Corey.
Well, so I agree with the sentiment that like yeah, every every advance in technology in the molecular world, the molecular biology world, like yeah, lowers the barrier for what other bad actors to develop something. But at the end of the day, at least even in this research and all similar research that I have seen, even with CRISPR, it requires a human carrying out molecular techniques at the end of the day, and the ability to do that is very limited, I would
Hmm.
say.
It's yeah. It's,
And
I
like,
mean,
yeah,
it's hard.
you can have all the tools. You can. I don't care. You. I don't mind giving away free synthesizers for everybody. I'm not concerned of your ability to do anything with it. Let's put it that way.
It is to go from DNA to a tube to a full blown virus is very hard. I mean, Prime, the hellscape scenario that you're envisioning is basically very akin to actually the viruses that are being thawed right now in the permafrost, that basically are possibly, basically viruses that could be attaching to cells in our body that our bodies have never seen. So we have no antibodies for, which is called, it's a novel virus, when that's the terminology for it. That's why they called SARS-CoV-2 a novel coronavirus, because we had never seen that ACE2 spike protein that it had, that handle into our ACE2 cells before. So that was the term for it. But the idea is that that was just a different type of coronavirus. Imagine like a whole new different type of virus that our bodies have never seen, and now it just gets released into the world, and now our bodies have no way to stop it. We've never cultured these types of viruses. We don't know how to work with them. We don't know which where to make the vaccine. Like all a bunch of different problems that could arise from it. That's kind of like the problem, potentially.
And even research, like I think people understandably uh, don't realize just how messy biological research is. Of
Hmm.
like, even just replicating this, I would imagine is not going to be super easy. Totally doable, but like, no, I don't think anybody in the general public can take this paper and do anything with it or
Yeah,
anything close.
it's yeah, exactly. I mean, this is it's. Go ahead, go for it, Prime.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just like, again, I'm trying to, like, like take it to some sort of pragmatic, logical solution here, right? Like, so I hear you. At least I think I do. That, like, the process of, like, coming up with a biological weapon isn't so simple, right? If it was, then anyone could do it, right? Uh, like that there are other barriers, right? Like this gives you a sequence. Let's say in the best case scenario, but best case, worst case, I guess. Scenario, right? Like this AI can provide you a sequence, but then like assembling that sequence would be difficult. Is that what you're saying? That like to actually put together a
And actually
functioning virus?
packaging into a virus. It's a
Yeah.
it's a whole set of steps to go from like DNA sequence, and you've actually grown a virus from.
So
Yeah,
okay,
there's like
so
20
so
steps.
so how and how much does how much work does this save, right? Like okay, so let's take away the AI, right, and it providing this sequence, right? Like how much more uh work intensive would that process be without that?
The AI to create a new virus that we've never seen before, you would just
Whether I mean whether it's new or not, like
it
the
would
point is like like a virus that can be used as a weapon or something.
you could do that. You could do that through directed evolution, month maybe.
A month?
Yeah.
I would say the AI is not saving like that much time.
Yeah, I'd say it's about a month.
Okay. So that's what I'm looking for, right there. Because and again, this is not like I don't have like a fear. I would not like like when Corey sent me this, whatever. It was not a big deal. Not anything to panic over, but like if a person were to panic, right? Like I can imagine like their thought process. It's like okay, well now it's just making making it easier for people to get up to nefarious deeds. But if from these two who are who are experts on this field, or at least have a level of expertise on this field. If you're telling me that like actually no, this doesn't do all that much, it would be a useful tool in this process, right?
For sure.
But like it doesn't necessarily like make it so like you're rather than coming to school with an AR-15, right? Like that misanthrope high schooler, right? Comes
You're
in
coming to school
with
with a
like a
test tube
biological
with a
weapon. Yeah, like a test tube, right? Like yeah, that's not gonna happen. You still have to worry about the AR-15, but like you don't have to worry about like a biological weapon being released because now it's just so easy to do so because we got AI, that's the thing that I think is really important. That like no, actually, there's just still a lot of expertise, and even then, right, like the whole process is messy, and then I guess maybe getting you guys could tell me this or not, like creating a virus that does exactly this thing, like binds to these sites and knowing like how it will interact within a human body, right, and have
Hmm.
this output, right, because we've talked about it before, right, like what kind of virus, right, or pathogen, like makes a good um pandemic, right? Because not all of them do, right? Like you have to. There are certain aspects that makes them that
Exactly.
way, right? That allows them to spread very quickly and then from there be deadly, right? Um, and so like uh, actually designing something that does that, right? And that you understand how it interacts within the human body, and then it actually spreads right in the way and transporting it and like manufacturing enough of it in the quantities to make this
that you need.
happen.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Yes.
essentially.
Exactly.
I would say that's like one of, in my mind, one of the strongest cases of lab leak against lab leak of like
Mm.
or an intentional lab leak of like someone actually designed this virus. Like pretty much for someone to get it right on the first shot is so astronomically low. Like someone would have to be like running trials with people of like
Mm.
determining, how it infects, infectiousness, transmissibility, all that stuff. And to get it right, to do none of those things and to get it right on the first shot is just so
Mm.
minuscule, astronomically small that it's like virtually like, yeah, you have a better chance of winning the lottery.
Corey, you
Like,
know that the furin cleavage site in SARS-CoV-2 is out of frame too. Did you
yeah,
know that?
that was vaguely in the back of my mind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so great. So out of frame, basically, there's the sequences of creating a codon, the ACTs and Gs. Basically, if you shift it just one forward, imagine if you had a sentence and all the letters and the words were just shifted like one forward. So you'd still have all of them in the same position, but you would just have all the letters like shifted one over. Like instead of THE for the, it would have like ATH, and it would just be like because there's an A before that or something, you know. So it's just so funny the ideas of through evolution, basically directed evolution, you test a lot of different types of these type of viruses a lot quicker, you know, than AI basically still has to be tested. Even in their paper, they tested like 100 of them or something, and 16 worked. So it's like, you know, even in their own study, like they, you know, a bunch of them failed. And yeah, Prime,
And this is with using state of the art tools.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
yeah.
I think the analogy, I'm determined everything to video game analogies or how we understand the world, ladies and gentlemen. So so instead of like thinking in how the articles is written that you become like a super character in like a raid boss or something, you actually basically it's more akin to like you had a new type of of armor or something that like you had a breastplate, and then now you put some chainmail on there or something, and it's like on the armor slot is the same, the values are a little bit different, but it's nothing else is really different, and you're like, oh, okay, well that it's a new, and the thing is like a new item was created, and you're like, okay, well, it's a new item, it's a new chess piece technically, but like, did it make my character like super strong, or did it make me like stronger so I could like you know, kill a raid boss with one blow or something? Like, no, it's just a new item that didn't exist in the game. So it's not as like it's not as it's not as fancy, you know, because it's basically just like yeah, it copied what was already there in nature because it's a generative AI, right? Which is going to take things together and kind of
Just
like
shuffle the
see,
deck
yeah,
and
exactly.
you,
So
you
it's going
know,
to find
and
out,
gave you a viable hand. That's totally
yeah,
fair.
exactly. So it's like it's cool. I mean, it is interesting, but you're right in that it's a better headline, and this is why it went, you know, front page of the New York Times above the fold, which is pretty gnarly. So I think that's exactly why it's everything all in once. The AI data center fears with the, you know, the pandemic thing with lab leak happening last week with the Fauci hearings and all that kind of stuff. So it's it's just
So
uh
I don't remember this being stated, but like it seems like well, maybe this, I don't know. I'll just ask you, right? Like it seemed like a good comparison. I was going to say use the word control, but maybe that doesn't work here. But
mm,
like a good comparison for the efficaciousness, like the effectiveness of this AI model would be like how well does it work compared to a random number generator, right? Because like there's just four, you know, there's four of the was the nucleotides or whatever, right?
yeah.
Like
Yeah, no, you
um
got it right. There's 4 nucleotides.
okay, sorry, yeah, I'm always worried I'm
Well,
gonna say
in
something
yeah,
stupid.
four, 4 canonical nucleotides.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Oh my god, there's something else.
No, no,
There's
this
an
is the fifth
exception I
one.
don't know.
This is the you're still that
Pseudo
you're
uridine. We're gonna put in zero.
yeah.
No,
But anyway,
that's
so yeah,
go ahead, go ahead.
but like you know, it's just four, right? And so you could just easily design a program, right? Random number generator that would just like cycle through like give you a sequence of those four, right? And like give them 100 of those, and like so you'll have 200, you know, like one from the random number generator, one from the AI, right? It'd be interested to see like which one comes up with like something that is, you know, comes up with more that are they're more valuable, right? Like because if it can't beat a random number generator, then you've got nothing,
That's fair.
right?
That seems like a reasonable
I would say
control
it's
actually.
a lot better than a random number generator. Just to
That's
correct
what
the
I would.
record, I said they synthesized 100. It was 300. So 300 out
Okay.
of 300, they got 16 viable phages. So
So yeah, no, that's like yeah, that's a pretty low percentage success
mhm,
rate.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's about 5%, right?
Hmm.
Uh, I mean, like I'm curious, like can it? And also, I don't know this. Maybe you guys have will have a better knowledge into that. Like, how much could a a person working their own, right? If they were had to generate like 300 of these things, like some by some other means, like would they be have a better success rate? Like I don't know. Um, but like
Well,
but anyway, like between a random number generator, like I don't know, 5%, like
all
would that
300
be
of
possible?
them, all 300 of them by the data analysis and the stats the AI did on those were considered like AI data science biologically viable. Like on paper they looked good. And then in reality, um 5% wound up being successful. This is my problem
Well,
with
testament to what I said of like biological research is messy. Like you can
exactly,
make all the
dude.
predictions that you want, but when you actually
Exactly.
Mm,
get into the lab, everything just falls flat.
Exactly,
No.
bro. Exactly. Like this is my problem with like AlphaFold getting the
Yeah,
Nobel
no,
Prize too. And I
overlooked
was like,
as well.
and it's like they're like, "Oh my gosh, all these new medicines that it synthesized." And I'm
Well,
like,
that's the headline now, though. Like,
"What?"
okay,
Like it
I,
like hundreds of new medicines. It created these hypotheses. It basically created the 300, viable phages, but they weren't actual viable. And then they aren't real medicines. They're just like, antibodies or something. That's not a medicine. It needs to be tested. And so yeah,
but the
it's just
general sentiment now, at least in my experience for the general public, is like AlphaFold solve protein folding. Like
hmm
that has seemed to
exactly,
has been stuck in the minds of the general public, in my
exactly.
experience.
It's like
Which I don't think is a
super
good thing.
small protein interactions, super small. It's not like it's just not. It, it's so frustrating.
It's a
It's
major milestone. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to like
exactly
necessarily downplay it, but I also don't want to like overblow it as well.
AI.
Which
The best thing I can tell people is the AI makes educated guesses. They make hypotheses that need to be tested in the lab. Every single one of them. So none of them are like slam dunk. I have an AI now. I don't need to do this kind of thing. And people overestimating the power of AI is inevitably the next 20 years in biology research because there is just we have a fact of the matter in biology is like you said, Corey, very complicated. It's very, very complicated.
yeah, and and if anything, I'm more uh, whatever skeptical of AI doing anything meaningful in biology. I think at least when it comes to the large language models, I don't think that the large language models are going to do much to revolutionize the life sciences.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong about that.
I mean, we've been using deep learning and neural networks in like for
Yeah,
in
those are
science for a
different stories
long
then.
and a long period of time. I mean, I remember Francis Arnold working with them in like 2017, 2018. So it's very, very cool like how long science has been using them. So I I I think that they create things that need to be tested, and we're never gonna and this is also guys why animal models are so important, and this is why RFK removing animal model testing is not a good idea, because it, creating it could look really good on paper. It could needs and it could look good on
well,
cell
a
tissue
medicine.
culture. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Actual medicine. It could look good on actual cell tissue culture,
Mm.
but then to go right to humans from cell tissue culture is extremely dangerous. And this is exactly why, because
Mm.
you don't know like, how many are going to be correct. You could be risking a lot of adverse side effects. It's very dangerous. So anyway, gonna give you guys the last word.
You can go first, Corey.
Okay, sure, yeah. Well, actually, just to put a pin
Yeah,
on what
go
you
for it.
just said, Greg, as in like, I think a good tragic case of this and reinforcing how messy biological research is like what we were speaking about. I think either last week or the week before of like, yeah, that case in China with the gene therapy and resulting in the death of like you had very serious researchers actually like carrying out some of the research, and despite all their best attempts, like it still unfortunately resulted in a death. um and that was like, you had a competent researcher, and you had a competent researcher being paid to carry out some of the preliminary experiments to hopefully provide evidence of proof of concept. And then once they tried to make the jump to an actual patient, unfortunately ended in tragedy. And so, yeah, to think that you're going to go from like AI to like, oh, we now have an infectious virus to humans I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, especially with like a large language model. But I could be wrong about that. And if anything, I look forward, I'm more leaning towards of like, I think by applying the large language models to the life sciences are going to expose some of the limitations of the large language models. At least that's my sort of tentative prediction. But yeah, you can find me on Twitch, Corey Comedy 4, Twitter, X, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Substack. It's Corey Campbell. And yeah, and on the topic of Substack, I have a series of articles currently being published weekly for the next few weeks about a particular health grifter that I think is very problematic. That even though despite they have their MD from Harvard and their PhD from Oxford, they have a very terrible thesis, and they have very questionable health recommendations. Put it that way.
I feel like I feel like that's was unnecessary to attack Dr. Greg right here on his
Yeah,
show.
right.
Uh,
Give me
uh,
the link to that, and I can put it in the show notes and description for you.
Yes, absolutely. Give me 1 second. I'll send it to you in the Discord.
yeah, shout out to Corey and all that he's doing. Um, yeah, and yeah, I don't have much more to say on this. That like it was for me a sensation, right? Like it's the easy thing, right? Like, and the thing that's doing the most work is your own imagination as to like what these things will equal out. And to be fair, right? Like, and I don't want to denigrate other people, like non-experts. Like I don't know what else are you supposed to do. Like if you don't understand a story, like how else are you supposed to process it, right? Like um I guess like I would always like caution against panic. That's the only thing I could say, right? Like caution against panic against a lot of these stories. Understand that there's a benefit for sensationalism when it comes to journalism, period, right? Not just and we're talking about sciences, just in general, and just
Mm.
take a breath, right? Before then. Sometimes there are things you have to panic about, but like most things aren't that, right? That's why the world hasn't actually like fallen apart, right? With all with like the absolute title, the ocean of like articles that spell doom, right? That have been published, right? Not just in English language, but in all other languages, right? You would think society would have been over by now, right? But yet we still tick on. So I would just caution against like panic when you see these types of things, and if possible, right, like try to visit, it be uh, get the word of like experts in the field that you trust, and see what they have to say. And that's just not that doesn't have to necessarily mean an influencer, right? Because a lot of influencers who pretend that they know what the hell they're talking about, they're just like talking out their ass. So like actually
True.
someone who has a level of subject matter expertise on this, who can provide sound advice and like put things in perspective. I really appreciated Corey and Dr. Greg for doing that, right? I don't have that. I mean, again, I wasn't panicked or anything like that, but like, uh, I mean, I didn't get a DM from Corey like like
Run, run.
the doom is upon
Stock up
us.
on toilet paper right now. Go to your nearest CVS. Get all the
Yeah.
toilet paper.
So I'll wait on that. But yeah. So like that, but like yeah, but still like to just actually be able to walk us through, like okay, well, this is what the steps that would have to happen before a freaking super weapon happens, that's useful. And it's calming and like it gives you perspective. So again, I very much appreciate Corey and Dr. Greg being so kind as to,
Thank you.
share with us all that. So find me, twitch.tv, youtube.com, kick.com, Prime Kai, PRIMECAYS. Love to have you.
Cool. Always a pleasure. Look
All
forward
right,
to it.
thanks, guys. Appreciate you as always. Thank you so much.
Take care. Be well.
Have a good
good one.
night. All right. All right, guys. Dude, that's awesome. Whoa. Whoa. No, that's not right. What is up here? Boom. What's up, guys? Oh man, it's been a minute. It's been a minute. How's everyone doing? Oh, you're fine, Bud Varys. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You're fine. thank you for being in comments, dude. You're great. Yeah, exactly. Adverse. Yeah, it felt like that way. It felt that way. Whoa, thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Objective Ethics. Legend. Thank you so much. I think it's this week we're having our discussion, right? Week from tomorrow. We are making moral progress, most notably since the Enlightenment, which is a push to focus on secular humanism and the scientific method. This is not a coincidence, folks. Science for the win. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Objective Ethics. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. It's been good. I didn't watch the CNN RFK interview. No, I didn't. I just yeah, it's just really frustrating to me. So I don't know. I took the week off because my kiddos basically had the week off too. They start school on Monday, and we've been um yeah, I've been taking them everywhere, and it's just been a family week, and so I just kind of like took the week off, and um it's been really fun. Yeah, bonding and stuff, and um yeah, I just been really pushing hard. No cruising life, no, it's all good. I've yeah, it's honestly just getting really stressful. It's getting really stressful with finding a job, and I got a no on a job that I thought I had a really good shot at. Like I was a scientist 3, and this was a scientist 1 position, contract 2. So it was a 6-month scientist 1. And I think that maybe it was like too low or something, and they were like, they just didn't want me. So it was for a really good company. It was for a company that I would have been really happy to work for. So I was really dejected for sure. And so I've been really putting out as many applications as possible. I've done like over 30 just this week. And so don't subject yourself to shite. I mean, it's tough, man. I mean, it's literally kind of like my job to do that as a science communicator. I see it. Hey, thank you, Sheepadoodle. Thank you, man. Um, I know, and it was like the week of like all this Fauci stuff kind of like being in the news, and um I've been going on panels and talking about it, which is fun, but I'm just like really sad. It's really sad. The whole I don't think that people realize that the attack on the lab leak stuff is a direct attack on research science specifically, because it basically says that, you know, research science is too dangerous to do, that research science shouldn't be done, that virology and microbiology, these fields, like they don't have any value. That's what basically lab leak and the people that are trying to shut it down kind of say. And I can't grasp it. I can't grasp it. It's so toxic. I'm pro gain of function. Yeah, me too, Sheepadoodle. Me too, man. Like unironically, even in both sections, both definitions, I would agree with. You know, because we have to make cells that are like super cells in order to make our biofuels, make our biofuels, our materials, our medicines, our material, like everything, our food. They have to be like super plants. You know, that's what basically we're making. So, um, yeah, their intentions are to shut down scientific research. I totally agree, Hazel. I think so too. Um, and it's devastating. It's devastating. So I never thought in my life, like being a scientist, I would have the president of the United States and the administration coming after my job and trying to take it away from me. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty wild. I can't believe it. So, uh, and the thing that hits me the most is it's just like it's this idea of I don't know how to say this other than what it is. It feels like Trump is like having such an impact on my life. And as a white man, I understand I'm very privileged in the fact that I'm not harassed by ICE. I don't have to worry about my loved ones, my partner being deported and stuff like that. So I'm very privileged in that. Um, but it just feels like he's won. He's winning in my life, and I just can't fucking stand it. And feels like I'm trying in so many different ways. I'm trying so hard in different fields that I never even wanted to be in, like, I'm trying hard on science. I'm trying hard on acting and modeling out of nowhere. Like, that's been really weird. And I'm trying hard on consulting. I'm trying hard on medical writing, and I'm trying hard on the 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 law and patent law side. Like I'm trying hard on all these different fronts, and it just feels like I'm I'm getting nowhere, and it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are fun. I mean, the healthcare systems are struggling, but dude, I honestly, like, I think about it all the time. Like I didn't want to become an MD because of the time and the commitment. And there was like some study that I read that was like 70% of MDs wish that they could go back and do a different profession. So I just fell in love with research science kind of at that same time that I saw that, and I just I can't get beyond, like, I wish I'd just gone to medical school. I just wish but I love being a scientist. That's the thing. I love doing science. I love doing research. Maybe I could have done that with an MD as well. Maybe I could have done an MD PhD or something. I don't know. But it's really depressing. The guys that the guy that did that AI virus paper that we were just talking about actually got the exact same fellowship as me, and I got it 2 years earlier than him. And he's a freaking professor at Stanford now. And like, what am I doing? I'm freaking applying to do beard club commercials. I just feel like I've been a total failure. So it's incredibly aggravating. But I don't know. Maybe that guy wishes that he had my family, and my wife and my house and all those things. Maybe I'm winning that way. I'm trying, yeah, cruising life. I'm doing teaching everywhere. I'm doing I'm trying to teach at all the community colleges. I've put in applications to everywhere. Putting applications all into that stuff. Yeah. I've done like eight teacher pools or something. I never thought I'd be in my 40s having to defend science, the mail, and newspapers. Yeah, right. Yeah, Brittany. We've lost about 15,000 PhDs at the federal level. So it's very tough. Everyone has their own path. We all do it because we can't keep it different. They're all bored. I think so too. I agree, Souls. It's just like paying bills. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, nobody got to 20K as fast. I know she would do. I don't know what's happened to my TikTok. It's like completely died out. I'm not doing the debate content, so people aren't really like drawn into here. But I just I can't I can't debate MAGA for all day, all night. I just can't do it. I feel like there's something that I'm giving more to this world than that, and I just can't do it, you know. I am doing debates. I have a debate coming up. I'm actually flying to Vegas to do it. So I think that that's kind of cool. So hopefully that turns out really well. So that was, dude, give it, honestly, dude, big ups to Sarah, the Raging Tomato. Like, honestly, she is awesome. She like got me in contact with this other guy, and, dude, like he's like incredible networking. She is so rad. So I really appreciate her. So, I appreciate her a ton. Are you able to say who you're debating? I don't know if I am yet. Sheepadoodle. I don't know if I am. Yeah, I'm flying out for the debate. So it's 4 hours. I fly in that morning and I fly back that night. I'm not even staying a night. I'm commuting to Vegas. And with traffic and gas prices, it's $150 round trip, which is cheaper than a tank of gas. So it saves me like 6 hours that day of driving. So, oh, thank you, dude. Objective ethics. Thank you so much, dude. Dr. G, the world is a better place because of you are in it, brother. Oh, thank you, man. Don't get too high with the highs or lows with the lows. Yeah, one day at a time. Thank you, man. I really appreciate your help and your kind words. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Um, yeah. I think like yeah, I think I'm proud of what I'm doing here. I honestly never thought I would be doing it. I'm actually most proud, to be honest with you, um, doing it for a year now. Most things I burn out, I get really into, and then at this moment right here, this like when I get hit, I usually go off and I get that momentum and I'm like, oh, okay, nice, let's do it. Okay, I'm getting good. And then I'll hit the thing. And then that kind of friction point where I'm like, I don't know how to go forward here. This is a lot of friction. I'll bow out. And like when I did science communication before, I only streamed like one or two nights a week. And then I recorded YouTube videos from there. And then that was it. I never did it regularly. I never did it consistently. So I'm actually really proud of myself for like continuing to do this. And I'm really proud of like what we've done with SAFE, Science and Freedom for Everyone. I think that that's really cool. We just had our first 501c4 action fund meeting today as a full board, and that was awesome. So we are actually um, we are incorporated for both of the boards now and doing awesome things. Yeah. Yeah, I think that there are some um good debates to debate lives. I'm always like really it like warms my heart, man. I go into places like Facts Still Matter and that kind of stuff. Like he saw me in chat the other day and was like, "Oh wow, it's Greg in the chat." And I'm like, "What? Like you know who I am? That's wild." So I it's cool. It's really cool. Thank you, Hazel. Yeah, safe is awesome. Yeah, um safe really is cool. I think I'm gonna start making content for it, like pretty much exclusively coming up here. I'm kind of just over political commentary. Like I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say, other than like regurgitating things. And it feels so, I don't know. I need to figure out what I'm gonna do with my content, like for the shorts. I like the idea of the long content and the that being that. I still want to do my show. I have the scripts like half written. I need to figure that out. I need to push that out before I start doing the debates. I got a modern day debate coming up on Tuesday, guys. We have another Adam and Eve versus evolution debate. So that's what we got going on Tuesday. So that should be fun. I actually have like the next month, I have like something coming up every week. I did a ton of outreach. I contacted about 200 people or 100 people or whatever, and I got like a bunch of things scheduled. So Tuesday, I'll post it in Discord. I think it's like 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Yeah, it's Adam and Eve versus evolution. Oh, thank you, Efon. Stay strong. You have what it takes, and you will get where you want to be. Thank you so much. When is the Vegas debate? I think it's the 19th, August 19th. Yeah. I did, dude. My dude, yes. Tommy, yes. My dude was great. I actually knew about him back when I was doing the peer review. That was back in like 2021, 2022. So that was crazy. Oh, Sarah's been very good to me also. She platformed me for a couple debates on my philosophy, objective morality. Big ups to the sister of giving me access to her large audience. Yeah. Yeah, dude, Sarah's been really nice. She's really cool. I think like there are very few places that actually want to platform scientists. I I don't know how to say that other than that. Like, I it's wow, like it's true. Like not a lot of places, not a lot of panels, not a lot of content creators will actually platform a scientist. I don't know why, but they just won't. So it's actually like we have to give ups to the people that do, you know. My message didn't go through TikTok people and YouTube. Oscar, oh yeah, Oscar's, yeah, he's doing incredible stuff. Yeah. Yeah, he's Oscar's doing amazing stuff, dude. He has like 700-800 people in there every time, and he's like guest paneling on Dean and Parker's streams too, so he's doing great. I know. I don't get those invites when I'm freaking in their requests. They don't let me up, so so I'm happy for him. I'm happy that it's actually happening. Tommy's been streaming again. Oh, really? Cool. Oh, Johnny. Yeah, Johnny's great. I love Johnny's streams. Yeah, he's great. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, it's yeah. I'm happy. I'm like for 1 year, I'm like really happy that where it's going. I'm really proud. I'm most proud about safe, most proud about keeping my consistency up. Even if I took the last week off. I think that those are good weeks. So I think I had to, you know, and yeah, I thank you guys for hanging out and being with me. What's the matter with these people? You have a lot to contribute. Helen, I don't know. I don't know. I think that for a lot of big content creators, they don't want to have a scientist on because then the show really isn't about them. You know what? In their minds. Like in my mind, I'm like there to answer questions um that they have, right? But in their minds, they don't have no idea what's going on and they're just like giving the microphone over to me or something. And that's not what it is. It's an ego thing for sure, Helen. I genuinely do think that that's what it is. And they feel like I'm going to steal their platform or something like that. But it's like, I mean, Neil deGrasse Tyson goes on Colbert and he's just like talks, you know, to people. So it's not like it's a weird thing. But let's just say there's really big content creators that will make videos about Fauci and science and that kind of stuff that isn't a scientist, and then they will talk about it on their live, and I will request up with 3 people in the request line, and I'm mutuals with them, so I know that they know who I am, and they still won't let me up just to talk about it for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Yeah, Pickles is awesome. Yeah, Pickles is great. Pickles is awesome. Pickles, Manda, she's amazing. Um, Corey Pearson, um, Ethan. I was talking to Ethan today. That was really cool. So yeah, uh, I've been so annoyed on several streamers this week about talking about COVID and giving incorrect info. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I don't understand why they don't want to talk to someone. Like that's the thing. Like why would you make 2 videos or 3 videos a week about a subject and then have a subject matter expert that can talk about that exact same thing? Why would you not want to talk to them? Pickles does have the pickles can, which is quite enjoyable. He's awesome. Yeah. Really? What? I have noticed that when vaccines come up or other similar topics, they mention me by name. Really? That's amazing. Oh, that warms my heart. Thank you, Dan. That really cool. It is cool. Oh, cool. Thank you, man. Thank you, Baja Blast. Thank you. Welcome. Appreciate you. I love you being here too. Oh, thank you, K-Bug. Hi, how's it going?
Hey, nice to meet you, sir.
Cheers. What's up?
Um, just interested to ask you a couple of questions. I've watched you, I think, for about 2 months or so.
Oh, cool.
We've never talked before though.
Okay.
I'm quite old. I'm about 60 years old.
Mhm.
Um, I saw you a while ago talking with Kent Hovind. Is that?
Yeah. Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, I'm not tone policing you. I just, I remember when the aeroplane guy, he was a famous, I'm obviously not American. He was the science guy in America, did a debate with Ken Ham, who's
Yeah, Bill
one
Nye
of
the
my
Science Guy.
fellow.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I was dead against that when it
Mhm.
happened, when it was happening. Like I said, I'm old.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was I felt that he shouldn't be giving Ken Ham the leg up. But
Mhm.
that was almost 20 years ago, I think.
Yeah, dude. I actually just reviewed that debate. It was 2014. Yeah, it was 2014.
Okay, 22 years ago.
12 years.
Tw- tw- oh, my, shocking. All right. But anyway, the thing was, I've been amazed at how many people I've met on TikTok who I think they call themselves deconstructionists now. It's a new word to me. But how many of them have said that that was the thing and they were in the thick of it and that turned their heads around?
Yeah. For
So
not
that
going
surprised me.
for not going uh, so the zeitgeist conversation at that time was that basically Bill Nye was too light on him and he let him kind of like walk all around, and he um wasn't really the bringing the fire to Ken Ham and kind of calling him out, and watching it over again. I didn't watch the entire debate until recently, and it definitely felt like he was more standoffish and just kind of like bringing up um, yeah, really long stories and not giving good pointed examples.
Who
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Nye? Oh, I thought he was being polite to a
Yeah,
point.
yeah, exactly. I agree.
But I have been surprised by how many people I've met that since then have said that is the pivot of their lives.
Interesting.
So to me, it was because I thought it was a mistake. And I would have agreed with what you said just then that
Yeah.
he was too polite and but yet it's changed some people's lives.
Yeah. It's a very popular debate. I think it was like millions of views now. So it's definitely it's big. I think what did you think about me going up against Ken Hovind then? I'm curious what your thoughts are.
Well, that's it. I can't help but get cross because Hovind, it doesn't matter what you do with Hovind, he's
Hmm.
going to say he won the debate and he's going to pivot it into because he is who's that guy that ate the livers with the fava beans? He is, he's not normal.
Hmm.
He's, his degree is fake. Have you read his actual degree?
Hovind's?
Yes.
Which one? He has 3 PhDs.
Oh, I didn't know. I read the one that WikiLeaks released.
Oh no, he has 3.
Oh, I read the one that starts, "Hi, my name's Kent Hovind. I'm from Pensacola,
No way.
Florida."
Are you serious? No way.
And I read that 25 years ago.
Oh my god.
And I used to have doubts about my own, I don't think I'm a genius. But I remember I got to the bit where he went on about, well, if what's the gas? The gas helium gas gets released when rocks age. Why isn't our atmosphere full of helium?
Oh my god, you're right. The introduction is
And I just remember, I remember thinking, I'm not really smart, but I understand that helium goes up.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
This is crazy. This is wild. We're gonna have to read this at some point. Oh my gosh,
and
guys.
I remember thinking because I used to have a lot less confidence than I do now. But I remember reading that and I just went, this guy's actually very, very stupid.
I mean, yeah, he has a dissertation for the Doctor of Philosophy and Christian Education, a project submitted to one person. He doesn't even have a dissertation committee. Just one
Oh, it's not
person,
real.
Wayne.
None of it's real.
I mean, I guess so. Is Patriot University is the thing. Oh my gosh, guys, that is so wild.
It was 25 years ago I read that. And I don't know. You're probably like, mm, there has to be an age where you don't engage.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think you're probably just above where you probably shouldn't engage. I'm not trying to tone police.
Mm-hmm.
Please, I am not the
Yeah, yeah.
tone police.
Yeah, I mean, I
Uh,
think about this constantly. The problem is, okay, so imagine a scenario where I don't engage.
yeah.
You know, w- like what is w- how is that any different than the world of science doing no outreach at all? You know
I
what I
don't
mean?
I
Yeah, I feel
but
like even going and doing it and failing, I think is better than not doing it at all.
it's just that I think he can be taken down well by 15-year-olds.
But the problem
I
is,
think that's in a perfect world,
yeah.
like that would be what would be happening. Like I'm not. Yeah, I'm. Yeah,
No,
I
no.
don't know the answer.
It's tough, man.
He's
I mean,
definitely, but he is dangerous. He is. Don't underestimate his danger.
exactly. I agree. And that's
One
why
of the
and
worst things.
that's why I think like especially like disinformation agents like him, like he is the purveyor of this stuff. So I think that he's doing tangible harm. So I don't think that giving him kind of like a cordial interview like is worthy of my time
I've
for
kept.
sure.
I've kept an eye on. Oh, actually, I took my eye off at him about 15 years. I haven't looked at him for 10 years, but
Hmm.
I did for about 15 years. I kept a real good eye on him,
Hmm.
and I watched him real close. And I remember once he had an open day. He wasn't. It was after he got out of jail, and he opened a new park.
Yeah.
And he had an open day there one day, and he had this big thing, and he put on this open day, and he had all these people come. Anyway, a young boy drowned
Hmm.
at the open day. Like there was an accident where
Oh, I heard about this.
a young child actually drowned. And his response to that was, "Oh, all these people are carrying on. Everybody else had a really good day."
Oh my God.
Like
That's
the
so
man
wild.
is a monster.
That's actually wild.
Like you can't overstate that.
Mm-hmm.
That
No,
is
yeah, I agree.
beyond ridiculous.
But I mean, the thing is he is, but maybe the questions that people are asking, like the question, the points that he's making in that debate, other people, the audience, might be having as well. So I think that it's not to sway his mind; it's to sway people who are
Okay.
thinking like, "Oh, well,
Okay.
why, how have they thought of that?" And
Okay, we're going to have a different discussion now. We're going to forget about him. Nice
okay,
to meet you, by the way. We're talking to creationists.
mm-hmm,
Now, I met my first creationist in 1978. I was 14 years old.
mm-hmm,
I was I was already a little bit educated in evolution. Had a privileged upbringing. I was a Christian and my parents were Christian, but the people that educated me in evolution were my parents, basically,
mm,
and my teachers. Like they were not creationists.
okay,
I want to make that clear.
okay,
They were not silly people.
mm-hmm,
I don't agree with them on the religion these days, but I did at that stage.
okay,
And I remember meeting my first creationist in 1978. Hate to say it, mate, was an American, a Pentecostal, and I was absolutely shocked. Like it was like the world moved under my feet. Like, what am I dealing with here? I was discombobulated. I hadn't come across this before. It
mm-hmm,
was a level of ignorance um, and but surety, at the same time. Like this person was very sure of themselves,
yeah,
and it shocked me. And they were in a position of educational power and within an institution I was in.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, and it probably led to my atheism. I don't know. Sort of, my
mm,
parents weren't atheists,
yeah,
but they weren't. I remember going back and telling them about this, and they were upset too.
hmm,
It's a very strange thing.
hmm,
No, in America, it's not so strange because it's an American. My accent, you probably picked up. I'm not American.
mm-hmm. Roger.
Yeah. This was Australia in the 70s.
Yeah.
There are creationists here now. The infection has spread. But yeah, I think it's a conspiracy. To me, that was my introduction to conspiracy theory thinking.
You see, that's an interesting thing because I made a point in my debate with uh the Hovind. Like I didn't even want to talk about religion. I made sure not to talk about he was a pastor. I didn't even want to say the Bible. Like I just wanted to say that he had a conspiracy. He's a conspiracy theorist and he's pushing conspiracies, and that's it. And I thought it was pretty effective, like looking back at it, because it really reframes the argument as opposed to like, oh, Christianity versus,
Yeah, I
you
think
know,
I was watching it, mate, and I think this is why I'm talking to you
mm,
because I think there's a lot because religion we're not gonna win against
e-
religion,
exactly.
and I
Never.
don't know if we have to.
Yeah.
Because I know, look, I love me some very religious. My mother went to her grave loving her some Jesus.
Me too. Me too.
And she was a wonderful woman, and
Hmm.
she was a librarian. And you want to talk about a privileged life? Being raised by a librarian is a privilege that just you're not going to it's better than money.
Yeah.
And so, but it's conspiracy theory thinking
Yeah.
is the most dangerous thing we're facing at the moment.
Yep.
Whether you have a religion, you might be a Muslim or a Christian there's a lot of, but most of those people are rational. Most of those people I come into my contact through my day to day are rational.
Yeah. Uh, so my theory of the case on, I think the easiest way and the kind of the scapegoat, the way people say that we're going to get out of this is education, which is right, but it's just going to take too long. We don't have 50 years in order to do this. We don't have two generations to get through. And I do think that the best way for us to really cut this out is to go for the algorithms, which are the algorithms spread conspiracies easier than science, right? It's easier to understand lab leak through the conspiracy versus population genetics. It's like it's like a, it's kind of catnip. People love a good conspiracy because it's just so easy to understand. And I think that people trust algorithms now with their view of reality. Like people will have a lived experience that they will see and then they'll kind of like take that in, but then they'll go home and then they'll swipe through 500 stories saying one narrative and they believe their phone and their algorithm instead of their lived experience. So like my theory of the case right now is to try to battle these conspiracies on these algorithms. So if we're infesting the algorithms with clips of people debating Hovind or something like that and call them a conspiracy theorist, that's better to have that content on the algorithm than not, because people are at least seeing that. People are seeing that and questioning it. People are seeing that and hate watching it, which then pushes it out to people that do like it. So I think that that's kind of like why I think
It's
it's effective and why how
I'm
to fix it.
starting to. I don't know if I'm getting this right, but what I did. I just start to. I just get to a point where I go. You're just talking nonsense from here on in. I'm
Hmm.
not hearing you. You're not listening. You're
Yeah.
just waiting for a chance to. I'm not talking to you.
Yeah. 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 I got you.
Uh, you're just waiting for a chance to speak. You're speaking from
Yeah.
ignorance, and then I'm speaking to the rest of the chat. This man is full of shit. It's like we can't do anything with this.
Yeah.
This is nonsense. Is that what you're saying?
I I think I think the reason why you're I think we
I
still have to
would
engage
love.
him.
I love the moment if you get. Like, I love a personal moment when you get somebody and they, oh, I get you, but I'm just not getting many of them.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen. That's never gonna happen. I think like
I have had it happen,
I
but
mean
it's just
I mean statistically it's like insanely
yeah.
low. But I think the idea is, I mean, you can give someone the seed of knowledge, but they have to water it on their own. You can't like that revelation. I think Dawkins honestly said it best, was like you can't reason someone, or maybe it was Hitchens, can't reason someone out of a position that they haven't reasoned themselves into. So a lot of people believe things because of cultural norms, or they'll inherit kind of like a belief system from like an all package deal.
Yeah,
And they
it's
won't think
tough
about it.
going.
Yeah.
It is tough. So I reckon, yeah, from here on in, I'm going to be pretty tough. I
Yeah.
reckon, and and sometimes funny. I think humor,
Yep.
if you, but not, yeah, it play it by ear. But yeah, it was, yeah. I saw you talking to, and then I went, nah, do your best. Have some fun.
Yeah. I think
If
the
you can get,
I think like in the end, man, I think like conservatives or Hovind, people like Hovind actually respect me being a hard ass to him than not. Like they want to, like, if I cared this deeply about something, then I should be animated. I should be like defending it. I should, be vociferously defending it.
I did this. Do you know Banana Man?
No,
Have
I've
you
never heard.
remember Ray Comfort, the Banana
Yo,
Man?
oh yeah, the shape of the banana fits right into your
Yeah,
hand.
I hate like this is. I used to. I met him. I've met him about 4 or 5 times in my actual life.
Oh wow.
Like I met him back in about 1976 in New Zealand,
Mm-hmm.
and he was just wandering around like Mount Maunganui doing some. And I remember going and then he came across to Melbourne, and he was at like a speaker's corner,
Uh-huh.
and this was in the late 70s. And I remember telling him, I said, mate, no one's going to buy your bullshit here. You should go to America.
Oh man, so true.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, I know, right?
Yeah,
It is sad.
I haven't talked to him since he got famous.
No, it's yeah. That was one of the first things I used to watch evolution versus creationism debates like on the original YouTube back in the day. And that's like those videos were so funny. Him and the Family Matters, what is the child actor like going around debating people?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
Oh my
yeah, yeah.
gosh, this is so
Oh, well,
embarrassing.
I told you the 1978. I remember it like it was yesterday. The first time I met a creationist, like it just like like a lot of people have said all my life, you're obsessed with
Kirk,
this
that's it.
shit.
Yeah,
Kirk Cameron.
Kirk Cameron, that's it. Yeah.
People say but I've always found conspiracy theories dangerous. I always thought this stuff's dangerous.
It
And I've
is.
thought that since the first time I saw them in 1978. And guess what? I was bloody right.
I I you know, conspiracies actually have an evolutionary reason for existing in our brains. So like we love to draw that through line through concepts. So like our brain is organized spatially. So like our memory systems will connect unrelated things together. So like,
Yeah, that makes sense.
tree, shrub, bush, water. In order to get to
Yep, yep.
water, I need this sequence of events in order to get to water and get to the reward. So if you think about it, and a lot of conspiracies are this same structure where it's like this thing and then this thing and then that gets you over here and then this thing leads you
But,
to this, and that's like, oh okay, so
but
that's they're
the weird
exploiting that.
thing is, Greg,
Mm-hmm.
before the internet, these people were my best friends.
Yeah.
Like if I went to parties, I'd find these people. Like you'd always find them. They'd be sitting out the back. Like there'd be some, and they knew all the history. They'd read all the books that were interesting. They were more interesting than everybody else at the party. They
Well,
knew all the stuff.
they used to, I mean, back in the day, I used to love like reading those like the tabloids and the
Yeah,
supermarkets. It was so funny when a
yeah.
bat boy born in Iowa, and you're like, what? And it's like this awful CG of like a bat with a UFO face on the bat, and you're like, what? And then like, oh my gosh, mutant human. National
Uh,
Enquirer, exactly. But the thing is that the National Enquirer was a lot more funny when they were running the fucking White House. That's what the problem is that like
oh fuck it,
conspiracies
mate.
are not like,
The internet has changed
yeah,
everything.
exactly. That's the embarrassing part. It's like we just need to I just want the adults and like serious people to
But
get
it was
into
always like,
getting power.
even that. Look, I'll tell you, I was pretty smart back in 1978, but I wasn't that smart. And the Dunning Kruger thing, that's something I learned probably only a couple of years ago.
It's
That's
a
pretty
great,
modern.
it's very
It's a
interesting,
modern
yeah.
thing. But I tell you what turned my life around was figuring out I could get advice off people smarter than me and make my life better. I remember I used to dig my heels in I think, oh, I can do it, I can figure this out. And there was a point where I went, geez, other people have done all this work. I can just relax and get the advice and mate, I'm 60 something years old now. I've been doing the ladder for about 15, 16 years. Mate, I've been killing it. Listening to smarter people.
That's good, man. I think what's cool about learning is failing. You have to fail first in order to learn. That's the first step, and I think a lot of people are too insecure in order to do that, to ask questions and just to be like, how does this work? Or they would just, and I think the problem is that social media kind of creates this reality where everyone has like everyone's their own publicist. Everyone's their own
Yeah.
PR manager. So they have to like go throughout and like make a statement on every single issue in order to say something, in order to be on social media. You have to have a take on everything. So you have to say it confidently. It's like,
Oh, but
if you
I
have
was
no idea what you're
listening to
talking
you
about.
before. I was listening to you before. You were talking to some people about relationships.
Yeah.
You had a big chat. Mate, I've been married for 38 years to
Beautiful.
one person.
Beautiful.
And you know my advice to you? I've got no idea what the fuck you're doing, but good luck.
There you go. I guess that's all you can say.
How would I fucking know?
I think, but the problem is that a lot of guys nowadays are being really toxic to women, and that's the problem. The people that have good, fruitful, solid relationships, like we can advise like what to look
Well,
for and things for
don't
younger.
be toxic to the person you're with. That
Well,
would be a pretty fucking simple one.
That's exactly. I know, but a lot of times in the
Jesus
United States,
Christ.
especially right now, they're trying to like remove the rights of women to vote and like all this kind of stuff. So it's like especially in the
Oh,
States,
they're
it's
making
very regressive.
they're having a go here in Australia too, but they've got two little problems in their way.
Hmm.
We've got compulsory voting and we've got
Beautiful.
preferential voting.
Yeah, I love that. Those are two changes
And
that I
they
would love.
haven't. And every time I just push that in their face.
I wish men realized that it's better for their lives if women in society had more power and could do
I
more,
went to.
you know.
I'm married to a Japanese lady, and I
Mhm.
went to Japan 30 years ago, and I hadn't been there for 30 years. And I went there just last year, and the difference in that society was amazing.
Hmm.
And I remember going there and just thinking, I don't like this. I don't like these people. I don't want anything to do with this.
Hmm.
It was just horrible. It just
Interesting.
felt toxic. And I just went back there, and even though they're down a bit on the money, the way they're treating each other is so much more. It's the misogyny. It's the misogyny that's gone.
Hmm.
Like blokes are out with they're out with their kids. They're playing with their kids. They're doing misogyny hurts men.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
remember coming back and saying that, and all these feminists they wanted to pick on me. But white women, don't worry about them. But like it does. Misogyny hurts. Don't listen to white women. Misogyny hurts men.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does.
Yep. I totally agree.
Oh, it's been lovely meeting you, mate.
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming up. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Thank you for chilling. And good luck to you in
Yeah.
the debates.
I don't like debates. Anyway, my brother's been trying to call me. I hope it's not a drama.
Nice. Well,
See you,
they'll
man.
stick up for it. All right. See you, man. Have a good one. Peace. That was awesome. What an awesome guy. That's cool. Efon, this is so amazing. You're so cool. Dude, This is so funny. Here, I'm gonna put this into. This is so funny. I never would have thought to do this. I don't, because Dr. Greg is a show on like some. It was only like it was there for like a season or something. It wasn't like a huge show, but the Dr. Greg show was something that was on someone else's show, and that's when I googled that. That's when it comes up as. But you found it works. No, it does work. This works. Let's see here. Sorry, this never works. One second. I know I'm away. Where are One second. I'm finding this. I can't find it. It's so annoying. Okay. I know how to do this, guys. Professional streamer, by the way. This. Okay, this is it. Finally. Boom. Okay. Nice. We did it. Thank you. Thank you. What is this? Okay, so this is Efon. How did you what did you put into Google to find this? This is so funny. He says, what is H? What is I don't know what you mean, but mainstream science communicators and pro-vaccine audiences. Highly effective, data-driven defender of public health. The receipts approach. Instead of lecturing from a distance, his format relies on pulling up raw data and peer-reviewed studies on screen. Supporters praise his approach for stripping the emotion out of conspiracies and forcing logic into conversation. Is this us, guys? Is this us? Civil moderation. Strict house rules. I have house rules which mandate that callers must be respectful and provide sources without resulting to slurs or personal attacks. He is credited with steel manning his opponent's arguments. Oh, that's nice. And he articulates. Oh my gosh. Meaning he articulates their views accurately before systematically dismantling them with molecular biology. Or mom jokes. I know. Dude, if mom jokes don't make it to our Google answer, guys, I don't know. Among alternative health advocates, dude, judge me by my enemies, dude. Look at this. Among alternative health advocates, anti-vaccine communities, and anti-vaccine mandate skeptics, the consensus on me is highly critical. Let's go. Let's go. I'll take that. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. I asked an unbiased question for sure. Accusations of gatekeeping. Skeptics frequently claim that because he moderates the stream and controls the screen share. What? I don't do that. He has a home turf advantage that allows him to trap callers. How do I trap anyone here? But lack formal scientific training. The establishment shill label because he rigorously defends standard immunological data. I love that. I love that. Even that's so funny because he rigorously defends standard data. The FDA and vaccine safety profiles, his detractors frequently dismiss him as a partisan establishment actor or a defender of big pharma, debating versus listening. Some critics argue that his rapid-fire fact-checking format is designed more for algorithmic entertainment and building clips than authentically understanding why people have lost faith in public health institutions. Oh my god. It's so funny. That's so funny. F1, you're awesome. Thank you. Yeah, that's so funny. I I'm honored that any of you guys are here. Honestly, it's so cool. I'm like blown away. You know, 1 year, like 1 year with TikTok and this whole iteration of science communication versus what I've done before. Like, guys, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I stream by myself. Like, like I stream by myself to one or two, maybe one person for an entire stream, comes in for 10 minutes. Maybe. So it is so cool. I'm so enamored with all of you. And thank you so much for being here. It's just really cool. Oh, no, Avon, you're too kind. Thank you so much. That means a lot. Thank you. I know it's been crazy. I've been like thinking a lot. Oh my God. I've been really like weepy because of my mom too. This is like the 1 year mark of losing her too. And it's just like, oh my God, it has been wild. Just been really, you see the Fauci meme? No, let's see it. I haven't seen it. So I'm so thankful that you're here, and it's been wild. I don't know. There's just been so many times this last year has been so tough. But yeah, I'm cool. Like I love that this show has just become like more of a reflection of like who I am too, which is all over the place. So, and yeah, I love to go in different directions and pursue different things, and it's been really fun. Aw, thank you, Efon. Yeah, my mom was awesome. She is awesome. She is awesome. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. It's been cool. I've been Yeah. This stream has just been like a way for me to really express myself, which has been really cool. Like artistically, as a scientist and stuff. It's weird having like this artistic thing where I can make something a like real production, and it's been really cool. Helen, yeah, you are sounding boards for sure. No, thank you. Thank you, user. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Um, yeah, I think safe is like the cool, honestly, safe. I need to or be better about work, like speaking about safe and making videos about it. That is my second year content creator resolution, because like the whole idea of my theory of the case is that like Mom Donnie and the failure of the Biden administration is really like making your case on these apps, like your successes. If you don't say your successes and tell people about them, then they don't know. And that's the problem that I've been having with safe, and like I haven't been talking about it and advertising it a lot. And we're in this limbo before, where we were applying and making the 501c3 app and all that kind of stuff. Um, it said don't confuse uh, your Google searches with my degrees. True. Yeah. Yeah, Efon, I think it's such a cool thing. I can, talk it up way more and kind of be more about it. Because if we don't talk about it, then nobody knows about it. I do think that I think that there is some validity to like being not like a shadow organization, but not on social media. Just like just doing the work, and watch us by our actions. I think that there is validity to that, and that is a real way to exist. But I think that you have to have power in order to enact change that way. And when we don't have capital, how are we going to get more power? I mean, we have to leverage it. We have to be open. We have to utilize people, volunteers. We have to utilize AI. Guys, like, oh my God, we have to utilize AI in order to win these battles. Like, come on. We have to leverage the best technologies we have at the time in order to do the maximal political revolution that we need. Like, it is we have to have that stance. Like, think of the people that we are fighting against. Do you think Elon Musk wants us to use the latest technologies in artificial intelligence and generative AI to go up and go after his wealth and wealth tax it? Or would you rather we be less organized, less technologically advanced? Like, come on, man. Come on. Oh, really? The new nominee for Michigan Senate is an epidemiologist. Okay, cool. Hmm. Oh. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I didn't realize El Sayed was an epidemiologist. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Oh, wow, his wife is a doctor too? Oh, that's cool. One second. There's this Stavi's World that was so funny. Uh, I'll find it. Why can't I search through my watch later? What? What? Hmm. Oh, hey, this is why. Never mind. Never mind. I give up. I just watched that.
I have a coworker who
Uh, ah, no, really? Okay. Sorry. Oops. Un momento. Done. 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 Okay, here we go.
she smells really bad.
Oh no.
I have a coworker who she smells really bad.
Oh
Oh yeah.
no. That's tough. Stinky lady's a tough one. Stinky dude is kind of much easier societally because you could just everyone can make fun of him, but stinky woman, there's something about it that feels even worse.
That's tough.
That's tougher. But anyway, it's stinky dude's not easy, but stinky woman, that's high difficulty level. Keep going, Raquel.
That's
Sorry to cut you off.
It's okay. So she's also the daughter of the CEO.
Oh, stinky Nepo baby. Damn, bitch. You got the money for soap. Get some Dr. Bronner's, you fucking idiot. That's crazy.
So yeah, and she's a really sweet girl. And I would
she's
consider her a
nice.
friend too.
Oh,
Damn.
that's tough. This is quite the conundrum you find yourself in.
I don't know what to say.
Well, so more background on her. She's a black girl adopted by a white Mormon couple.
Ooh, Jesus Christ.
So
Poor girl.
I'm like, I don't know if it's like a cultural thing, maybe a disconnect or something, but we've tried different things of just like, people have mentioned the smell in the office because it can take up the whole office.
What?
We've taken her to Sephora and kind of like hinted at products. So
Whoa,
it's kind
this
of
perfume's pretty awesome.
Whoa, look at this extra strength D pussy stencher they're selling at Sephora. You should get a whole fucking barrel of this, you fucking stinky whore. Anyway, sorry. That's fucking nuts. So the whole office is united in trying to gently tell this girl that she stinks.
Yeah, so it's kind of gotten to the point now where, yesterday I've been pretty silent about it. I've put up with it, but yesterday was a day where I was like, oh man, I feel like I should say something, but also I don't want to
Stavi's world.
Put my job in jeopardy either.
Yeah, this is fucking insane. And I assume because if this isn't the boss's daughter, this is a clear HR.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
yeah,
man,
exactly.
we gotta fucking do something about this. This is literally what the.
Yeah. He's a stand-up comic.
This kind of shit is exactly what you should be doing. Do you feel like,
dude, Vix? I mean, yeah, he's right though. If this ever does happen, it's just an easy HR thing. This is exactly what that's for. I think that the person deserves this happens a lot with jujitsu. Like for some reason, people will think that because it's dry, it's not gross still, and then you can smell it and it smells weird, but it doesn't smell as bad when it's wet. And then they'll come back and you're like, whoa, dude, what the hell? So yeah, you gotta wash and dry your gi every single time, ladies and gentlemen. And but you always want to know, but sometimes your old gis and stuff can smell bad still, and you don't know it. It can kind of it can't, I don't know. Sometimes you just gotta something happened, Yeah. I wish that someone would tell me if that happened to me. You know what I mean? You never want to be the smelly guy. So I feel like telling that person earlier with HR would be better than later,
you could go to, and it's tough because HR are snitches, right? Like HR is there to protect the company, not the workers. So
and that's what those, yeah, you're right up in there. Yeah, user.
get, they're sort of the cops of of the office. So I understand not wanting to go to HR, but this is a Mormon company. They might not even fucking have HR, so who fucking knows? Um, have you considered that? Is that even an option? Is one of your co-conspirators someone in HR if the whole office is into it?
We do have an HR.
It's her
My thing
sister.
is they're very passive ladies, and so my fear
And they
is
have
that
no idea.
they're
And if they're from Utah, they have no idea how to talk to a black person, probably. And I'm
yeah.
guessing
So
there's no other black people in the office for sure, right? No chance.
no, well,
Yeah.
there's actually no,
Yeah.
there's one other girl who she is black, but she, she's kind of in with us and trying to like drop hints and stuff.
Dude, I found this people that are like crunchy granola in the freaking jujitsu world will do vinegar instead of soap. Like they think that vinegar like kills the bacteria, so that they don't want to do harsh chemicals or something. And I'm like, you smell like vinegar, dude. You smell awful. Like there are some people that are like, you're just like, I can't even. I don't want to roll with you. You just smell so bad. You just can't do it. It's like don't even touch me. You're like, ugh.
And
You need to
be
send
more
this. Yeah.
specific about it.
You need to send this girl. Okay, does your company do any business with Baltimore City Public Schools? Because this girl needs to face black teens.
It's roast time.
She needs to be roasted by people who are not financially bound by her parents' whims. Because this taking up the whole fucking office is insane. Is fucking crazy. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. I don't know. This is really, really fucking crazy.
Do you work close with her every day, or is she just stinking the whole place up? Like, what is the, I'm sure you don't want to dox what your workplace is, but what is the nature of this work?
So I don't want to give away too
Sure.
much.
Yeah.
Are we talking just general office
Bro, I mean, it's just like it sounds like she's there in the office together.
work though? You're just in the office all day? Do you go outside? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so it's general office work.
Yeah.
We work closely together because while most of the staff comes in, they work hybrid. We work there daily. And so
Uh,
I've gotten more close to her, and where I can be a little bit more kind about things, the workers that do come in have something to say, and
Yeah.
they're, it's gotten to the point where it like they keep mentioning it, and it just feels like we're just talking bad about her also, and I don't want to
yeah, it's not
have that
fair to
icky
her.
feeling of
Yeah. Well, look. Fuck, this is really brutal. I mean, yeah. If you're truly friends, is there yeah, what the fuck? What is the root of this? Is it BO? Does she shit her pants? What kind is it? Are we talking armpit? Are we talking like what style stink is
What
this? I don't want you to
style?
get as graphic
Dude,
as you're
sometimes,
comfortable with. But
dude, one of the worst, honestly, like bad breath too. I don't know what it is. Like people that don't, guys, you got to tongue scrape. Yeah, tongue scrape. Okay, it is the number one thing for breath. Like okay, as a microbiologist, okay, I'm gonna give you the details of your mouth right now. Your mouth at the very center, that's where all your bacteria lives. It's a nice, meaty, large, flat, moist area that's where the bacteria grow. So if you scrape it off your tongue, it doesn't like move into your teeth, and it's easier to floss too. You have to tongue scrape. You have to. It's like you can get it for $8. I have a metal one, so I can like really go. And I'm telling you, you don't. If you think that you're toothbrushing your tongue and you think that that's you're doing it, you're not. You're not. Okay, get another device. I'm telling you, it's gonna change your life. But some people have such bad breath, and that's another thing too, where you're like, uh, uses a rasp. I don't know what a rasp is. What is a rasp? No. No. A file, yeah. Yeah, exactly, Deanne. There you go. You gotta talk to some people just need coaching. You know? You gotta like you gotta you gotta it's okay. This is it. I'm telling you, this. Like one of these I get one of these metal ones that has like the two different sides because then you can use both of yours. I'm telling you guys. I don't like these. These like little types. Oh, this is mine. This is the actual one that I use. It has really good. It has like the best handles on the side that I've found. It's really good. Dr. Tongues. I'm telling you, if you're not doing that, you're missing out. I'm telling you. Yeah, and that's the thing with jujitsu too, because you're like right next to someone's face and stuff. And I always put a mint in before I roll with someone, just to like I'll drink my water and stuff, and then put a mint in too, just like. I actually know Listerine and stuff I don't do that. I think it's such a waste of money. Um, yeah, I don't do that because it's just like a continuing cost kind of thing where I'm just like I don't think that it really does anything. And once you've like tongue scraped and you've brushed and you've flossed, like everything, I don't think it does much. I don't think Listerine and that kind of stuff does much. So, and it's just like an extra cost every month. I'm like, ooh, the cinnamon ones. Okay, Heather, you like to get down. Okay. We used to elementary school, that was a big thing, trying to see how many we could fit like on our tongue. Like, oh, I can do two. Like, you like ride that thing out, man. Cinnamon Altoids are gnarly. Oh, my dentist told me that unless you have an infection. Oh, interesting. Dude, a water pick, I love flossing. I floss every time that I brush, and water picks are very interesting to me. I think that it's a very interesting idea. An allergic reaction in my mouth. I can't do I used to gum all the time. I used to love using gum, and then it just upsets my stomach now. I don't know what it is. Uh, my rheumatologist said absolutely no mouthwash. Wow. Oh, interesting. Xylitol. Interesting. Ooh, nice. Helen likes the peppermint Altoids. I like the peppermint Altoids too. They're really good. Oh yeah, swishing with water, of course. Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure. Yeah, exactly, user. If you have bad breath from stomach issues or like a tooth, like a bad tooth, oh, like that's yeah, you got to figure that stuff out. It's sometimes it's like so hard to even talk to someone that has bad breath like that. It's like, I can't, I just can't. Um, I wonder what the best clip ever is. See his most popular clip ever. Here we go. This is good.
All right. So I got a couple
Dude,
buddies that I went to college with. We were all in the same fraternity, and we also like kind of.
this is my frat bros are secretly hooking up. That's a
Hang
secret
out because we
anymore.
all work in the same area. Oh my gosh,
The fuck's going on back
The
there?
dog.
my dogs are fighting.
This is awesome.
I was like, what is that? Did somebody catch audio of me and Eldest fighting over a donut?
One second, let me kick it out of the room real quick. Get out of here.
It's mine. Fuck you, Eldest.
All right, we should be good now.
All right.
All right. So we all kind of like live together in separate houses. There's like probably about 10 of us that all went in together. And 2 of them that live in separate houses kind of spend the night together all the time.
Your friends?
Yeah.
Okay.
So one of them is gay. He's been like
Okay.
openly gay since we were in high school.
All
And the
right.
other one we all met in college, and he's seemingly straight, like kind of like Catholic guy, a little homophobic to a point.
Oh, a
Homophobic.
homophobic Catholic guy.
Yeah,
One of the
yeah.
straightest guys you can be. A repressed Catholic who may or may not be overcompensating for something. Interesting. Okay, go on.
So we've one of the roommates overheard like an argument,
Hell yeah.
like basically him being like, "I don't like you talking about your type."
Dude, Stavi is more, yeah, he has lost a lot of weight since that and his latest one. You see, look, he's a lot better, man. He's, yeah.
And going on these Tinder dates, and then he proceeded to hear like fucking
Whoa.
after this. So it's like, I don't really care, obviously. Like, if 2 of my homies are fucking, good for them, you know. Like,
Sure.
they're getting some fucking in, but
Well, that
like,
could really fuck up the friend group, though, for real.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also like having those like weird arguments of like, I don't like you going on these dates, but then at the same time being all secretive about it feels like very toxic and potentially explosive.
Yeah, for sure. No, what are you talking about? A religious guy who's hiding being gay could act out in a really fucked up way? I don't think so.
Right. And
Yeah, go ahead.
Literally.
so my kind of question is should I even address this? Because I feel like if I kind of like come at it, it might cause that explosion. But I feel like
I would just let them be, man. Like they're if it becomes a thing, then it becomes a thing. If it doesn't, then it is. I mean, there's a bunch of people that can date like within a friend group, and it's totally fine. You know, I think that's fun. That's totally cool. So I would just let it be. You know, I wouldn't worry about like the friendship fracturing, or you can't like worry about that stuff. You know, because then it's like if there was, then it happens. But especially if you really like each other, what are you gonna? We have too many friends in common. So yeah.
or should I just like let it be? Like, oh well, it's
Yeah.
gonna happen regardless.
This is really interesting because so you guys basically you guys graduated college and you all basically moved into like the same, like you
There's,
separately
like,
got
5 of
apartments
us
in the same
one
complex?
house, and then there's like 4 of us in the other house, and then everybody else like lives with their respective like partners.
Gotcha. So so you're still kind of on room. You're still basically
Fresh out of college.
fresh out of college, first place. You're basically still living like
Well, dude, Nico, I don't like this take, dude. I think we have to talk to the 18-year-olds. Dude, we have to. We have to talk to them, Nico. We have to. If not us, who else? Like, you know, all these other grapers and stuff are snatching these kids up, dude. They're getting entrapped by this right-wing MAGA new trad con bullshit, you know? It's like they're getting swept up into that. So I feel like talking to them it has to be, you have to talk to them, you know? And I think it's important. I think it has to be. Yeah, we have to, exactly, Bill. We have to give them an alternative to the red pill stuff. Yeah, like show them what masculinity is, like legitimately, that you don't have to be toxic and be a man. Imagine that. You just not be toxic and also be a man. Try it out. Try it out.
College, but you're 21, 22, whatever.
Yeah, I'm 22.
And okay.
And everybody else same age.
So, look, if these guys were secretly fucking on their own time, that's one thing. But to do that under the same roof, like if me, Eldest, and two of our friends had a house together and the other two guys were sucking each other's cocks, like if they were, okay, let's take the gay shit out of it. Me, Eldest, me and you are living with two of our buddies, and two of them are like fucking smoking weed by themselves and ordering pizzas just to their rooms and hiding it from us. We'd be like, what the fuck, guys? We're all boys here. Why are you hiding? Like, why are you doing that shit? The fact that they're doing something like as wild as, and wild only because it's unexpected, as fucking each other and expect us not to know it. Like, that's the thing that's almost insulting to your intelligence. Is like, guys, we share a bathroom. Like, I know you guys are fucking each other. It's weird. It's just weird of you to not expect me to say anything. So, are you roommates with the guys that are fucking, or are you in the other house?
So I am in the other house. Mm-hmm. So all this stuff that I've just heard from the other people. So one of them lives with me and then goes over to that house.
Right, because you're all friends.
To go spend the night, yeah. So like if we were in high school, then having a sleepover wouldn't be weird.
Wait,
but we're all in our early 20s.
They don't even live in the same house?
No, it's a different house, and then they'll go like spend the night together.
Are you guys walking? Like, wait, in his they sleep in the same bed?
No, it's in a different house. That's oh my gosh.
Well, like they come out of the same room in the morning.
I mean, what the fuck?
So we assume
that's. But what I'm asking then is like, it'd be crazy of them not to expect someone to comment on it. Like, it's not they suck he sucks him off in the garage and then you like overhear something. You're like, that's weird. They sleep in the same bed. He goes like, all right, see you, boy. You're all watching ostensibly television, your friends. And then they're like, all right, time for bed. And they go into the gay guy's room and they overhear passionate arguments. I mean, it's kind of weird not to expect someone to say, like, again, imagine if it was just a girl, you know what I mean? It would be way more open. So you could add, this is crazy.
They're like secretive about it, I guess. Like one night we were all over there smoking, watching Sunday Night Football, and we were at the straight guy's house. So that's the other house. The gay guy lives with me. So we're all over there.
Okay.
And he's like, all right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and go to bed. We're like, all right, dude, good night, whatever. And then my roommate's like, hey, I'm just gonna go on home.
I'm going home, and nobody look at the back terrace.
The door, and then snuck back in, like it went up. We all noticed it, but he's trying to be sneaky about it.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
You see him fucking. You're like, he's like, all right, guys, I'm going to bed, and then you see the other guy from upstairs throw down like 8 sheets knotted together. He fucking climbs up. He climbs down like Rapunzel and fucks his ass in the shed, and then goes back.
Hold on.
Yeah, this is insane. This is fucking crazy.
How old are you guys?
22.
22, like 23 to 21, that range.
And these people, would you like call them your friends, or are you just like roommates?
I would call them my friends. Like all of us are like pretty close. We all were in the same fraternity together, so like as close as that is.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I guess
it's close. They're friends, dude. It's not just roommates. Like it is like friends of ours from college. The mysterious.
The dudes I'm living with are gonna be like my best men when I eventually get married, like that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
And definitely that's what you think now. You're 22. But that's another thing. That's a whole other discussion. But this is crazy that they're trying to sneak around and like, because we all had that college friend group, and I can tell you, if 2 guys from my friend group were fucking each other, I am talking about it. I am like, what the fuck is going on,
Yeah.
fellas? Like, now that's easier said than done.
I don't even know though. I think of
Like, I don't
like
even know how to broach coming to them about it.
He's
If that makes
37.
sense. Like,
I think you
do
start
other
with a
Damn, he's 37.
gay
Fucking-
one.
like,
I think you start with an openly gay one.
I'm trying
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of this like, okay, if I was in college, let's say a buddy from the college radio station or something.
Right.
Where it's kind of like a frat or whatever.
I guess you're right. This isn't too. It's hard to say two of our friends because everyone is straight, but like you would need one gay guy in the mix as well.
Let's say a couple people. Let's say I was living with like a guy from the radio station, and they have like they just do like gay shit with some other guy from the radio station. I know both of them. Definitely consider them my friends. Is this something that I would even feel compelled to comment on, or it's like
if it was random, if it was like, look, who knows? They hooked up, a one-off or something. You're like,
Yeah.
you know what? That's fine. Honestly, you'd be like, this is too weird to get in the mix of. It might just be experimentation. It might mean nothing. Whatever. I'm just gonna take a pass on my ostensibly straight friend fucking my gay friend. Right? I'm just gonna take a pass. It's essentially. It sounds like they're dating more or less.
Yeah.
That at some point becomes a topic of conversation. Just if your friend had a girl over 6 nights in a row,
Yeah.
even if he was being sneaky about it, he'd be like, "Hey, who was that? That was
Yeah,
over
I
here?"
think
You know
that-
what I mean?
how open
At the end of the day, though, I don't think that, like, I mean, because I think you don't want to make a big deal out of it just because it's like each of them to disclose it as it is, because of that like sensitive nature of it, of the one being, straight. It's not your place to kind of make a big deal of it. All right, guys. I think that's it for me tonight. Yeah, exactly, Bill. Yeah, I wouldn't like bring it up like in a way, you're just like, if it did come up and you had to, then you just like acknowledge it and then you just say what it is, and then just move on. But all right, y'all. Well, thanks for being here. I appreciate you. I have a lot to. I'm gonna really try to make a lot of work done. I want to try to do a show tomorrow night, and I have a guest. I'm gonna be a guest lecturer for my friend's class on Monday. Tuesday, it's the modern day debate. And so yeah, I got some stuff I gotta prepare for. I gotta prepare for the debate. And I gotta prepare for the lecture I gotta give. I was thinking about it being like 30 minutes of questions. Yeah. Yeah, that's my UCR hoodie. Dude, Nico, we got for our landscaping in our house. Oh, thank you guys. 100K. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah. And dude, we got the UC Verde grass that uses 70% less water than other buffalo grasses. It's been selectively bred since the 80s or the 90s. The idea is that they could eventually use it for golf courses and stuff like that. So yeah, it's from UCR. And freaking those little yeah, it's freaking rad, dude. Cuties. Do you guys like the little cuties thing that has like their super thin skin for the oranges and stuff? You guys know what I'm talking about? Cuties. That was UC. That was from UC Riverside as well. UC Riverside did that. And then and then also we did I got, which is really cool. It's called the Oro Blanco. It's a sweet grapefruit. So it doesn't, yeah, mandarin oranges, yeah, clementines, yeah. Yeah, those like little cuties. They like they yeah, they bred them there. And then but yeah, I'm really excited about the sweet grapefruit because normally grapefruit is so like tart and like sour, you know? So I'm so excited about them. It's gonna be really cool. Yeah, we just it was cool. I mean, we I think we would have had the grass anyway. Um, yeah, the grass is really cool. I mean, I don't understand turf right now. Like I don't get it. Like I'd rather have 70% reduction in like buffalo grass. So then, because then like because we have dogs, people have to like wash their turf with like water because otherwise it stinks because like the poop and pee just kind of like get it's there. But like at least with grass, it kind of like obviously you're picking up the poop, but like it kind of has some churning. Nice. Wow, cool. Tangerine tree, pear tree, plum tree, peach tree, and strawberry. Wow. That's amazing. That's incredible. Really? Dude, I'm yeah, I hate the feel of it. I hate the feel of the turf. It doesn't feel good. I have never like walked on turf that I liked. Um, and honestly, this is low maintenance grass. So the whole point of it is that it could, last a week without being, watered. So that's the whole point of it. It'll actually go dormant too in the winter. So, yeah, it's really cool actually. I'm really excited about it. And it's all female. In order to make it less pollen, like and more allergy friendly, they basically they only clonally propagate the buffalo grass. So we got plugs that we had to install. Like we didn't get seeds. Like there are no seeds because seeds would be males or females. So no, they went through a selection event which was 8 weeks in the summer with no water. That was the um that was the that was the selection event. Well, there's some plants. So some plants are called hermaphroditic, where they have you know both both sexes on the same plant. So they'll have pollen and stamens at the same time. But for a lot of plants, actually, there'll be male and female plants. So like cannabis, for example. Yeah, Nico. Yeah, it was an eight. They had a selection event. 8 weeks in the summer in Riverside with no water. Yeah, that's how they did it. They didn't use molecular biology to make it. It was all selective breeding over 30 years. Yeah. So it's cool. hmm Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's a interesting. Basically, like there's different evolutionary reasons why you would want to separate them out. Yeah. You got to find, I mean, that's pretty that's pretty hard though, right? You have to think about, um, Like, how is your pollen going to get to the stamen in order to make a seed if you're immobile? You're immobile. You can't move. No, we bought a trays and we got it delivered. They just drove it. We're an hour and a half from UCR, so they just drove it down. Exactly. Exactly, user. But and bees or pollinators, right? So think about that. Like that's tough. You got to make sure you're really in with those bees. You know what I mean? You got you're kind of leaving up your survival to another organism. So that's kind of tough. It's rough. The um the plants that are hermaphroditic and they have like male and female spots like on their bodies um are capable of doing both from the same plant will there's like genetic things that they have. They can't self-pollinate. So basically as they detect the genome of the pollen as it's going down, and they'll stop it. Because if you're just you don't want to be inseminating yourself. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't make any sense. You know, just to just put it out there. You definitely want if you could choose not to, you definitely don't. I don't understand what you mean by the plugs. It's just like a little bundle of the plant, like like this wide, and there's just like a little plug with like 1 square inch little thing, and you just put it in the ground, and then now it like clonally propagates. Yeah, not that type of plug. No. So yeah, I've been taking care of the yard in the last week. It's been fun. Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. Hair plugs for your yard. Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly right. All right, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, we'll do a normal show. It'll be fun. And then yeah, I'll see you soon, okay? See you guys.